What's good, IB Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Irish Breakdown Podcast. It is Wednesday. It is July 16th. I got my man Trevor. I'm Vince, and we are here for Buy, Sell, Hold because it's Wednesday, and that's what we do on Wednesdays. Brian is taking a break, and he's letting the subordinates take over. So good luck, everybody. I mean, it's when the boss is away, the mice will play. And we're going to have some fun with this thing today. So we've got everything all queued up, Trev. We're ready to roll. How you doing today, my man?
I'm great, man. You know me. I'm always ready for buy, sell, hold. Stay ready, never have to get ready. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing.
That's great. That sounds like I feel like that was a very coach thing to say, by the way. I don't know if that's where you got that from or if you just made it up on your own. Either way, it's pretty good.
Thank you. I got it from T.I., the rapper.
So. Okay, very good. We'll take it. All right, so let's just throw this up here and get started. And I believe I've heard you guys talk about this in the past. Salty gets the first one, right?
He does. Yep. So quick reminder, buy, sell, hold is something that we like to do for our premium message board members. You see it scrolling down there at the bottom, boards.irishbreakdown.com. Basically, what the premise is you guys will submit a topic or a question, and then after some discussion, Vince or I will decide whether we buy the premise, we sell it, or we hold it if we just don't have all of the, I guess you call it, necessary tools that we need to answer the question. However, what we do is we try not to cop out and hold. We tend to either buy it or sell it. So quick reminder, this isn't like a Friday free-for-all mailbag. So if you just put in a buy, sell, hold in the live chat, we're not going to be able to get to it because we have a bunch of awesome cards that we have to get to today. But if you are a premium message board member and you did forget to put in your submission, you can always throw in a super chat and we'll make sure that we get to it. And then if you are not a premium message board subscriber, save your money. Don't put in a super chat. Head on over to boards.irishbreakdown.com. Get yourself a premium membership. And then you can submit all the buy, sell, holds that your little heart desires. And so that is basically the premise of buy, sell, hold. Our guy Salty gets the thread started, so he kind of gets first crack at getting the first submission. So his is buy, sell, hold. The top 9 must-see football games this season include Texas versus Ohio State, LSU versus Clemson, Notre Dame versus Miami, Alabama versus Georgia, Texas Tech versus Arizona State, Texas versus Florida, Ohio State versus Michigan, Oregon versus Penn State, Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Vince, what do you think?
Woo! Well, I think we should take these individually. And I'm going to go on the premise of what I would want to watch, whether I will buy it or I will sell it. And then a hold for me would be, I'll turn it on in the background while I'm doing other stuff. So a buy is like I'm focused, I'm watching. A sell is I don't give a crap. And a hold is I've got it on in the background and I'll take a look at the scores as it goes along. Maybe because look, when Notre Dame has a 3:30 game or a noon game, I've got my iPad up to the side here and I've got a game on while we're doing the post-game show. So like that would be like a hold kind of a thing or a buy, right? Like I got to watch this game, that kind of a thing. So let's take these one at a time. We'll each give an answer for each one, and we'll just kind of go. Does that sound good?
Love it. All
right. So Texas, Ohio State. I feel like that's a buy.
Yeah. This is a very easy buy. That's one of the games that I'm happy that Notre Dame actually has a Sunday game. We have
that's the first weekend. I'd take it. Okay.
Yeah, it is. So August 30th, Texas plays Ohio State at noon. Alabama plays Florida State on the road at 3:30, and then LSU plays Clemson in the night game. So
gotcha.
Full slate, and then we don't have to worry about or kind of I'll still be waiting for Notre Dame to kick off, obviously, but it'll be a stress-free day of football for us to watch. Got some of the friends coming over to the house to watch those games. But this is a definite buy for me. Whether we were doing something at the apartment or not, this would be one that I would absolutely be tuning into, even if Notre Dame had a game on Saturday. As long as it wasn't at the same time,
yep,
that's on the main screen.
And look, you and I aren't traveling to Miami. I suppose if I was traveling to Miami, it would be even more of a buy because I'd be sitting in a hotel room probably, and like, what else am I going to do? But this Saturday slate of games is pretty solid.
Yeah.
And since there is no Notre Dame game, I'm going to be tuned in. And then it's the first real weekend of college football. And you've got some heavyweights kind of going head to head here. So, the timing of it also is key, right? Because this is the first weekend, man. Like 0-0, both teams are going to be ranked in the top 10, maybe the top 5, depending on what happens and all of those kinds of different things. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. So it's a bye for me. LSU Clemson, clear bye. If not just because I want to root for Clemson. I mean, that's a clear bye for me. I assume it is for you as well.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is. Battle of the Tigers and Battle of the Death Valleys. And so that's going to be it. That's going to be a really good night game. I'm really excited for that one.
Then Notre Dame, Miami, obviously that's a bye. We're watching that game. I mean, we have to. But even if I wasn't following Notre Dame and I wasn't, working, I would watch that game. So that's a no-brainer, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Alabama, Georgia. Now, I assume this one is later on in the season. Rivalry weekend, that kind of deal.
September 27th.
Oh, it's early. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. This is also a bye for me, especially because of last year. I mean, Georgia gets them in Athens this year as well. I don't remember the last time Alabama played Georgia in Athens in the regular season. Might have been 2020. But okay. They're not a team. Those aren't two teams that face each other that much in the regular season. And so very excited to tune into that game. And it's going to be telling for both teams. I mean, Georgia's going to have a couple of matchups before. Well, one matchup before they play on the road against Tennessee on September 13th, and then they have a bye, and then they get Alabama. And then the Crimson Tide, before they face off against Georgia, they also are at home against Wisconsin and then have a bye, and then they're on the road against Georgia. So that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Both teams are still going to be in contention, I would imagine, at that point. So that could be not an eliminator in the SEC, but definitely something that goes a long way to dictate what happens in the SEC. So that's somewhere between a hold and a bye for me, depending on what's going on when that game is going on. But it's definitely one that I'm paying attention to. So That's where that one is. Texas Tech, Arizona State.
Okay, I'm going to sell this one, and here's why. And it's not because I'm against the Big 12 or like we have been very open on this channel about how exciting the Big 12 is going to be this year because the level of competition is so even. But the reason why I'm selling this one is because then you could go and put most Big 12 matchups on this list, I guess, if that makes sense.
Fair.
Like there should be a Kansas State game on here, an Arizona State game on here. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones that could be on here. So I'm selling that Texas Tech versus Arizona State is a top 9 must see.
Yeah.
I mean, what's Arizona's schedule this year? I mean,
so
let's see.
That's October 18th, by the way.
Okay.
So it's kind of in the middle of the year. Those are, Texas Tech spent all this money in the transfer portal, obviously. Arizona State is considered one of the top teams in the Big 12. So I guess that's probably why, it's on this list.
Sure. Well, and I get that, but then it's like, why not on the road at Iowa State? Those were the two teams that played in the Big 12 championship last year, and then they're on the road against Colorado. Like, that's my point. It's not that
point.
It's not that Arizona State isn't must-see football this year. I believe that they are, but I don't know if the Texas Tech game is going to be that for them.
Right.
I mean, I go through and I think about what, Kansas State is going to be another team that's going to be competing for the Big 12 championship this year. And on their regular season schedule, they open up the season against Iowa State. They're on the road against Kansas. They also face Texas Tech at home. They're on the road against Utah, who should be an improved team from last season. So, point being, I'm selling it because I can't just narrow it down to one Big 12 game as the must-see out of the entire conference.
Right.
This will be one of them, but I think they're going to have too many good games. It's not like in the Big 10, where you're going to have Ohio State, Michigan, and then when it's not that, it's like Ohio State, Rutgers. Like Arizona State, they got Texas Tech, and they got Kansas, and they got Iowa State, and so there's too many for me to choose from. That's why I'm selling it.
I get that. It's a sell for me. It just doesn't interest me. Texas Tech's going to have to do some major work for me to care about what they do. And I'm not there yet. So this is a sell for me. If it's on late at night, maybe, if it's, kind of like a Pac-12 after dark kind of a situation, obviously we don't know what time that game is going to kick. It's obviously at Arizona State, so they're a couple of hours behind us. Trying to see here. Let's see. Notre Dame plays USC that game or that day. So that's a 7:30 kick. So even if it's in the maybe it's a 3:30 start, maybe that's something that we've got on in the press box while we're waiting. If I'm there, it's a sell for me. It just doesn't I'm not like, man, I got to watch that Texas Tech Arizona State game. Like that doesn't float my boat. So it's a sell for me. How about Texas Florida? This is an interesting. We've already had a Texas game on here. Now we've got Texas Florida in the swamp.
This is another sell for me. You know, you go and you look at what Texas's schedule is. They're also in the same year. They're on the road against Georgia, and then they also host Texas A&M in kind of a rivalry reborn type of situation. I think Florida's going to be interesting. You know, they square off the first weekend of October, so it could be decent depending on how Florida is. But I don't know who Florida has before them. I mean, Florida, they got before they play Texas, they're on the road against LSU and on the road against Miami.
Well, and outside of Ohio State, Texas plays absolutely nobody prior to Florida. I mean, obviously Ohio State is a somebody, but then they got San Jose State, they got UTEP, and they've got Sam Houston. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to learn something about Texas, obviously, when they go on the road to Ohio State. And then we learn nothing for the rest of the month of September. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, who is this Texas team going to be? Who's Florida going to be the first weekend of October? I think that remains to be seen as well.
That the Texas-Florida game could work my way up its list if Florida is, you know, if they find some way to beat LSU and Miami both on the road before.
Yeah.
You know, they do get a bye week before they face Texas. So they get LSU on the road, Miami on the road, bye week, and then they host Texas.
Okay.
So that could be interesting. But, I mean, if Florida comes into that matchup 2-2, I'm not putting it as a top 9 must-see. So I guess I'll hold.
Yeah,
on that one then, because it will very much depend on how Florida is.
That's fair. It's a hold for me as well. Notre Dame plays Boise that day at 3:30. So, you know, where does this game fall? Like, it really depends. Like, if Texas loses to Ohio State in the first game, I don't know that I'm going to be all that interested in this one. You know, if Florida drops a game or two before this, that drops the anticipation level. So, it's a hold for me as well, depending on how the season plays out, even though that's the first weekend of October. Ohio State, Michigan, noon. I watch it every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
That's an easy one. Obviously, it's a buy. I mean, it just is for all the reasons that it should be. It's one of the best rivalries, if not the best rivalry in college football. I love to watch Michigan lose, but they haven't in the last 4 years. That's the problem. So I end up yelling at my TV, getting all fired up before then I have to go work and watch Notre Dame. So it makes things very interesting generally. But yeah, I definitely will watch that game. No doubt about it. The fact that it's at noon is glorious. It's the first thing you get to do that day. Love it. I love that game at noon, by the way. I know some people want it at prime time. I do not. I love it in that noon slot. That's me. So
I'm with you.
Oregon, Penn State.
Yeah, so this game is going to be the last weekend of September.
Okay.
And I went and I saw this question come through on the boards, and I went through and I looked at what Oregon's schedule is. I was like, all right, before they play Penn State on the road, they got Montana State, Oklahoma State, at Northwestern, Oregon State. So it's going to be their first.
Yeah.
No. And then I looked at Penn State's schedule beforehand, and they will be really untested beforehand. Before they play Oregon, they have at home against Nevada, at home against Florida International, at home against Villanova, bye week, home against Oregon.
Yikes.
And so this one is going to be, I'm going to buy this because it's going to be our first opportunity to see, okay, like who are these teams actually?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yep. Absolutely.
Penn State, are they going to be the next Big Ten team, you know, to continue on what Michigan did in 23 and what Ohio State did in 24? Not in terms of winning a national championship, but you had an offseason where you were able to retain most of your roster.
Yep.
Players made decisions to come back for their final year of eligibility. You made a good coordinator hire. You know, what is that going to look like for Penn State? And then for Oregon, it's, hey, what does the Dante Moore era look like for the Ducks? What is their offense going to look like against a good defense when they don't have Evan Stewart?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. And I know it's a rivalry, Oregon State. I don't put a whole lot of weight into that because I don't think Oregon State's going to be that good this year. So this one's a buy for me. What about you, Vince?
Oh, it's a major buy for me for a couple of different reasons. Again, I'm a very pragmatic, practical person when it comes to watching these games, to be honest with you. Number one, based on the offseason that we have dealt with, I really want Penn State to lose that game. So I watch a lot of games just purely out of spite, to be honest with you. So That's one thing. So I want to see Penn State lose. This is already listed as a 7:30 start. This is on the same day that Notre Dame goes down to Arkansas at noon, which is obviously already an announced start. So the goal is we watch Notre Dame beat Arkansas. We get the post-game show out of the way, and then we all get to sit down and watch Oregon beat Penn State. Like, that's a great day. So it's a must watch for me. I am excited about that particular game. Yeah, I will watch this game. This is a huge buy for me, no doubt about it.
Round us out, we got Clemson and Georgia Tech. What do you think?
This is it. At best, this is a hold for me. I know that there's a chance that Clemson and Georgia Tech could be towards the top of the ACC, depending on how Georgia Tech does what they do. When is this one played, Trev?
September 13th at noon.
So it's early. Okay, so this is a real early game. So we're not really going to know much about either team probably at this point, outside of the fact that Clemson beat LSU. So if Clemson beats LSU, this might be a fun one to watch. If Clemson loses to LSU, realizing that that's not a conference game, Georgia Tech just doesn't do it for me, Trev. I'll be honest with you. They just don't do it for me. At best, this is a hold. Let's see how the first couple of weeks play out. Let's see, what else is going on at the same time, what other games are going on. But at best, this is a hold, but most likely it's going to be a sell.
Okay. I'm actually going to buy this. I'm relatively high on Georgia Tech this year, and we're also going to learn a little bit about the Yellow Jackets early in the season too. It's actually I think it's not week 0, but they play Friday night on the road against Colorado at 8 p.m. the first week. I'm interested to see what Colorado looks like now that they don't have Shedeur and Travis Hunter to kind of bail them out of some late game situations.
Right.
And then Georgia Tech brings back Haynes King and Jamal Haynes, and I like some of their skilled players on offense. So I think that one could be interesting. Clemson is on the road against Georgia Tech. Not that it's a hostile environment, but I think I would be more likely to sell this if it was at Clemson. Now, last year, Georgia Tech battled Georgia in Athens. They beat Miami, I believe, in Miami. So it's not like, them playing on the road is too much of a concern, but I think this could end up actually being a pretty decent game to kind of start sorting out what ACC play is going to look like for both of these teams. Because Clemson, that's their first ACC opponent as well. They got LSU, then they have Troy, and then they're on the road against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has Colorado, Gardner-Webb, and then Clemson. Yeah. So that one could be interesting. Could be really interesting.
And again, it depends on where it falls during the day. That's the day that Notre Dame plays Texas A&M at night. And so what are we going to be doing during the day? Trying to figure out what to watch, potentially?
Well, I'll be up. There's going to be an IB tailgate that day, I believe. So I'm going to be up on campus, but I'll be walking around with it on my phone. That's for sure.
There you go. There's a Hillsdale game at 1:00 that day. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how things are rolling. But might have to make it back for the tailgate. But yeah, I mean, it's a hold for right now, but it's trending toward a sell unless just Georgia Tech comes out firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, this game could be good. That kind of a deal. So,
okay.
All right, this is our first chance to see if this works. Boom.
Bang.
Here we go. So, buy, sell, hold. Den, Brock, and Rollin. Like that.
Like that.
Irish come out in black uniforms versus USC this year.
Sell. Hard sell. I am all for Notre Dame being modern and doing things to kind of, I guess, modernize their program. I don't hate the Jumbotron as much as what some other people do. I think I've said this before in a show. Notre Dame is a very segmented fan group. You have the people that hate the turf field, they hate the Jumbotron, you hate, and then you have the other side they should have a bunch of crazy different colored jerseys and all this other stuff. I fall somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I don't see the need for it. I've seen some of the concepts out there. I'm not saying it doesn't look cool, but black is just not a primary, or it's not even a tertiary color of the school.
Nope.
I mean, the closest thing that they had to black in their uniforms was back in the Charlie Weiss era. They would all have black spat tape with their home or away jerseys, and that's it. There was no jerseys with black in it, no pants with black in it. They haven't had to my memory, a Shamrock Series jersey with any sort of black in it. And so, no, I hope the USC game is a green out. I mean, if they're going to come out in any sort of uniforms, I mean, I hope that it would be like the '05 green jerseys or something if they're gonna pull a fun jersey game for that. But no, definite sell on black unis.
Helps if I'm on the right page. All right. Yeah, no, this is a huge sell for me. I do not want to see Notre Dame in black jerseys at all. And there's no Shamrock Series game this year. So we're probably not going to get, a complete out of the box type jersey this season, which I'm okay with. I'm still, getting used to, and I'm okay with it, but like the different swaps of the jerseys that they have, incorporating the white pants more than once a year, incorporating the green jerseys, the green pants, just the different combinations that they've been doing. I do not want black. That whole week when everybody was saying that there was going to be black jerseys for them last year, and the Twitterverse just lost their freaking minds.
Yeah.
And I could do without that. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it. Yeah. I don't need it. It's not necessary. Notre Dame, contrary to what some people believe, Notre Dame is not, I don't know. They're just not represented by black. Like that's just not who they are. So that's a hard pass for me.
Yep.
And again, dark blue, like the blue that they wear is pretty freaking dark. Like what else? Like it's not that much different, to be honest with you, between that and black. So like, I just don't think it would be that much of a difference to do it. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I'm with you. Dill McGrizz, buy one, sell one, hold one. These teams' chances to win their division this year. Oh, we're talking a little NFL. So we've got the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. And apparently he forgot about the fourth team in this division, which would be the Chicago Bears. But apparently they don't have a shot. So, what do you got? Do you follow? Are you an NFL fan? You're a Colts fan, right?
No, I'm a Bengals fan by marriage. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
okay. So have you watched the quarterback documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, it's awesome
with Joe Burrow.
Yep.
I know this is an aside, and I don't care. It's our show today. I really enjoyed it, and I actually gained respect for Joe Burrow. Like,
yeah,
his on the field persona just kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you.
I get that, but
like his behind the scenes, like he's just a guy. Like he's just a normal. Like I'm cool with Joe Burrow. He's got a weird, God, everybody wants to call me right now. He's got a weird sense of fashion. He's kind of I would say cocky on the field, but he's super talented, so he backs it up. But like off the field, he's just like, I could hang with Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? So like I gained a lot of respect for Joe Burrow just watching that. But anyway.
No, I'm with you, man. I mean, he just wants to be a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally like if a kid from Midwest Ohio got famous but still wants to be a kid from Midwest Ohio.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I love it. But no, the show's awesome. Highly recommended to anybody that hasn't seen it. In pertains to this question, though, I'm buying the Lions. I am holding the Vikings. I'm selling the Packers. Yep. I don't think Jordan Love is the dude. I really don't. Some people may disagree, but I think his sample size is just way too sporadic for me. And yes, I know J.J. McCarthy has no sample size. Agreed. But if I'm J.J. McCarthy and I'm looking at who I get to throw to every Sunday or Thursday or Monday or Saturday, depending on when the NFL wants to have games, I'd be okay throwing to Justin Jefferson. I think that's a pretty okay person
to
have.
It's going to make J.J. McCarthy look so much better than he actually is.
Yeah. And, oh, yeah. And I really like the Vikings defense. Brian Flores he's a dude at defensive coordinator. And he's one of the reasons why the Vikings had so much success last year. So, yeah, I'd go Lions, Vikings, Packers.
I love that order. I think the Lions are still the team to beat in the North. And until somebody, as Brian likes to say, you're the champ until somebody knocks you off. Like they're the champ until somebody knocks them off. Like the Lions are really freaking good. And I just don't think the Vikings nor the Packers are going to be able to hold a candle to the Lions. Like they'll compete. Like the competition is for second place. And it doesn't matter who comes in second. So I just think the Lions are just too good. And so I'm with you on that.
I'll be interested to see how they replace Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Now, I know they're
Good
keeping some
point.
continuity because their offensive line coach now, I believe, is their new offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And I like when teams that have had that much success kind of make an
Stay
in-house hire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interested to see how they do there. But their roster alone, I mean, love their offensive line. They're great in the trenches. The combo of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta, like whoever's stepping in at offensive coordinator for him, they're going to be fine.
Don't forget about Brock Wright. Okay.
And Brock Wright, baby. He's got the 2 tutties a year.
He's just a sleeper, baby. He's just a sleeper.
Is.
So, but yeah, the Lions are so good. And again, you get a really good view of who the Lions are watching the Netflix documentary as well. So there's just a lot to like about that team.
Jared Goff was the quarterback for me in that show that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, like this is pretty cool. I was like, I had some preconceived notions about him. I was like, all right, he's some whiny West Coast kid, went to Cal for college.
Married to a supermodel.
Yeah.
Like all those things.
Yeah. Married to a Sports Illustrated model. And he's like, the Rams didn't love me. And it's like, all right, dude. And then I watched the show and I was like, all right, am I a Lions fan now? No, but am I going to hate if they win? No, definitely.
Right. Exactly. He came off very well too, and then again, not going down the rabbit hole, but then this is the second time that Kirk Cousins has been on there. Kirk Cousins is just like the guy next door. You know what I mean? Like going to great clips and I mean, Kirk Cousins, he does not come off as an NFL quarterback. That's for darn sure. You know what I mean? He's the guy that's out grilling at the block party. You know what I mean? That's who Kirk Cousins is. And he's hard not to like too. So
if a PTA dad ever became a superstar NFL quarterback, that's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So it was a fun watch. I will admit I watched it over vacation. It was a fun watch.
It was cool.
So all right. There we go from Irish, English, buy 2, sell 2, hold 2, games to be forced to watch on repeat for 48 consecutive hours without food, water, or sleep while being detained in Salty's underground bunker. Whoa.
Well, I assume
there's another card to this, and I don't know if it's going to come up or not, but
there is another.
Oh, card. It is. Okay, good. Whoop.
Look.
Oh, and for the audio people who are not watching, they're on the podcast. It's 93 Boston College. It's 95 Northwestern, 2012 Alabama, 21 Cincinnati, 22 Marshall, or 24 Northern Illinois.
Look, I know what did you say at the start of the show? When the boss is away, the what will play?
Yeah.
The what will play? The rats?
Yeah, mice, I think. Yeah.
The mice. Look, I'm going to be a mouse. I'm selling all of these. I understand. Look, Irish English, respect to you putting this post in here, but I don't want to watch any of these for 48 consecutive hours. I don't want to watch one of these for 5 minutes.
Right. 48 consecutive hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Without food, water, or sleep, that's assuming I can stay awake for 48 hours.
Which is not going to happen, especially if I don't have any food and I'm forced to watch this. I will be sleeping.
Yeah. There's not a game on here that I would even hold. Not a one.
Because they're just all terrible. I mean,
you couldn't pay me money to watch 22 Marshall or 24 Northern Illinois. Or the 2012 Bama game. You couldn't pay me money to do it. No. I'm going to sell all of them. I'm sorry, Irish English. I'm calling an audible at the line. I can't. I can't.
I guess I'm not buying 2 of them. That's for sure. The Alabama was just a beatdown. Northwestern, there was a lot of hype going into that game, and it just fell on its face. So that was tough. There was so much on the line against Boston College that I would never watch that one. Still haven't watched that one again. If you're forcing my hand, I'm going to buy, I guess, Cincinnati maybe, because I already watched that one and it wasn't as bad as the other ones. At least Cincinnati was a good football team. Marshall and Northern Illinois were not, regardless of what Brian always tells me about the Marshall game. He's like, oh, they're better than you thought they were. I get it, but they're still Marshall. So I don't care. Cincinnati, I mean, they went to the college football playoff that year, right? So I'll buy that one, and I will sell everything else because I just don't want to watch any of those. But I appreciate you bringing down the tone of the show completely. Irish English, thank you for that. We're gonna move on. From D Troll Hunter, buy, sell, hold. A team will fire their coach early this season to be the first to make a run at Coach Saban.
Sell. I don't think Nick Saban's coming back to coaching. I really don't. I think that's a lot of fluff from SEC Media Day. Do I think a coach could be fired early this season? I mean, potentially, but I don't know who that would be.
Right, because it'd have to be look. Nick Saban's not going to Ball State. He's not going to a low-level team. It's going to have to be a high-level blue blood type program, and I don't know that any of those types of schools are in a place to fire their coach early.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, Alabama's not firing Kalen DeBoer early this season, let alone early. If Alabama fires Kalen DeBoer this year, he would have to go 3-9.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And there's just no way that happens.
I mean, if he starts off 0-6 or something like that, okay.
Yeah,
but come on.
No, and I'm going through the list. I'm thinking, Texas, no. Georgia, no. LSU, no. I know that was kind of the popular answer. I don't see Nick Saban going to Oklahoma.
No, me either.
I don't see it. So it's a sell for me.
Yeah, it's a sell for me because I'm not convinced he's coming back. He got out for a reason. He got out for a reason, folks, and that reason is 3 letters: NIL. He doesn't want to have anything to do with all of the nonsense that coaches have to deal with now. So I just don't see him coming back at all. And if schools / programs are dumb enough to fire a coach in hopes that they can bring in Nick Saban, you're barking up the wrong tree, in my opinion. So yeah, no. Buy, sell, hold, even if you sold the premise on the initial question. So this is why I should read the questions ahead of time. Buy, sell, hold as if you bought the premise on these scenarios separately. So we have to buy, sell, or hold and think that Saban is coming back. I still sell the first one. He's basically asking the first question again, right?
Sorry, I don't do that often. Even if you sold the premise on the initial question, buy, sell, hold as if you bought the premise. So let's just say for fun, we assume that we bought the first part.
Okay.
That team will be USC.
Got you.
If USC starts off slowly.
Well, if we're buying the first part, then I would buy the second part as well. I think USC could be a program that could make a run at him. Not saying that he would go there, but USC has made some bungled decisions in the past, and I could see them making this bungled decision thinking that they're going to get him. I could see that.
I would buy that they might make a run at him, but I sell that he would accept the job.
Right.
That would be a lateral, at best, move for Nick Saban to go to USC. I understand they're a blue blood, but over their program history, they've had stretches of being really good, twice. And it ended when their latest one ended when Pete Carroll left.
Mm-hmm.
If Nick Saban returns, it's going to be somewhere in the SEC. I would be shocked if it was anywhere else, and I don't think it's going to be USC. You talk a lot about program fit. No, I'm selling it. I don't think it's USC. Even if I bought the first premise,
right?
They might make a run at him. But he doesn't accept the job.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that. All right, another one. Buy, sell, hold. The team will be Michigan since they will have quote unquote cause to get out of their contract.
I'm going to sell this one too. I think Michigan has way too much baggage right now. They got weird stuff going on in that program, and new stuff keeps getting uncovered every week. I don't see Nick Saban stepping into the middle of that and trying to be their savior coming out of retirement.
Right. Yep, I agree with that. There's too much down the line, and I just don't know that he would go from. He was at Michigan State. I don't know if I see him going to Michigan because I think he's really still pretty revered at Michigan State. He'd be shutting the door on that. Maybe he doesn't care, but I just don't see him going to Michigan either. Even if all the off the field stuff was cleared, I don't see him going to Michigan.
Yeah,
I just don't. But you're right. things aren't getting better for Michigan right now. I think there's still stuff that's going to get uncovered and more penalties to come. And Sharon Moore is just going to be a punching bag. He's like a placeholder for whoever's next. But that's my opinion. And then buy, sell, hold, the team will be Florida. If they start slowly, it will be Billy's third straight slow start.
Assuming we bought the first premise, I buy this. I think he would go to a big name program in the SEC. And just by process of elimination, I don't think it's Georgia. I don't think it's Texas. I don't think it's LSU. I don't think he returns to Bama. Florida would be on that list. Mm-hmm. So if I bought the first premise, then yeah, I buy that it would be Florida.
Yeah, I agree with that. That works. Buy, sell, hold, the SEC saying they want the 5+11 model and rebuffing the Big Ten's want of multiple guaranteed bids shows a belief in their long team brand strength due to their depth versus the Big Ten.
SEC saying they want the 5+. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll buy that. I mean, look, the SEC has been very adamant that they believe that they are the best conference in college football, so it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to fight for more bids. You know, I mean that's just kind of simply put. I mean, I buy that is a byproduct of them believing that they have the best brand strength in college football.
I believe that the SEC did their homework and they looked at the past, 10, 15, 20 years, and they saw that every year, top 16, you're probably going to get 4 SEC teams in way more often than you're not. And so they have belief that will continue, and they don't need the automatic bids. They're going to get them anyway. And so they are posing it as, oh, well, we're going to, it's a success. It's a success. Excuse me. It looks like they're giving something back, right? Like, oh, well, we don't need all 4, let's get some more at-large bids and all of that, because they're confident that they're going to get them themselves. And there's a chance they get more than 4. So they are absolutely doubling down on the fact that they are the SEC and they think that they're the most popular and most powerful brand in college football. They're absolutely doubling down on that. And the Big Ten, I don't think believes, if the truth serum is put in them, that they're going to get 4 every single time. So they want the automatic 4 Big Ten bids. I do believe that. So yeah, I think this is an easy buy. I really do.
Well, and Insured brought up a good point in the chat. I mean, he said Greg Sankey came out today, said that he wishes the college football playoff was simply the 12 best teams.
I get that.
Well, I would get that too if I was Greg Sankey, if that meant that the SEC was going to get at least 4 teams in every single year.
Right.
If it was just the 11 best teams per the rankings, Alabama would have gotten in. In 2023, assuming the conferences were all the same, you would have had Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma in the playoffs in 2023. So, yes, I understand that he said he wishes it was the 12 best, but when you are the head of the conference that believes that they have the majority or a lot of the 12 best, then yeah, it's easy to say that.
Yeah, he's doubling down on the fact he thinks they got power.
Yeah.
And he's right. That was always my argument in the first place of the automatic 4 for, the SEC and the Big Ten. It's like, why do you need it spelled out in the contract that you're going to get 4? You'll get 4 way more often than you won't. There might be an off year where you don't, but you're going to get it way more often than you don't. There's SEC bias out there. It's real. There's Big Ten bias out there. It's real. You're going to get your teams in. Don't worry. It'll be okay.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at. Another one from D-Troll Hunter. The SEC is ironically more ready for the future of college football because they did maintain regionality through their expansion, allowing for their brand to stay intact and minimizing costs for their members.
I mean, I buy that their brand is intact, but more ready for the future of college football. I mean,
yeah,
the NIL has been rough for the SEC because they can't just hoard 4- and 5-star recruits like they used to back in the 2010s, because now they'll enter the portal and they'll go somewhere else. I mean, we saw it last year at even the playing field, and so, I mean, based on keeping their brand intact, minimizing costs, sure. But I mean, I don't know if the SEC is more ready for the future of college football in comparison to, say, the Big Ten. I'm not sure. But I don't know, Vince. What do you think?
Yeah, to say that they're more ready than anyone else, I mean, the chances of them, of the Power Four conferences just breaking away and doing their own thing, I think is still very viable, and all four conferences will do it. So I don't know why anyone has to be more ready than the other, except for the fact that I'm sure that they'll make a play for control of that group of teams and whatever that looks like, But I mean, the only thing that I absolutely agree with here that it's a buy that they did maintain their regionality for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say Missouri is SEC country. There's teams in the SEC that I wouldn't necessarily say is old school SEC country, right? I mean, Texas and Oklahoma are not in the Southeast, but it's not the Big Ten going out to California either. So it's like, did they maintain regionality? Yeah, more so than maybe others, but their region just got bigger. They're not. It's the Southeastern Conference. There's a lot of schools that are not in the Southeast that are in the SEC. So I guess I agree with that much of it. The rest I think is a little bit just kind of a reach, I guess.
Yeah.
There we go from Jake8589. Buy, sell, hold. Notre Dame will keep from publicly naming the starting quarterback until right before the Miami kickoff to push Miami to continue preparing for both up until the last minute.
Yeah, I would buy that. I mean, look, I don't know if you're going to see that many different things schematically, whether Notre Dame goes with CJ Carr or Kenny Minchey. Now, I know the popular notion is that Kenny Minchey, it's going to look a lot like Riley Leonard, but he can throw, and there's going to be look, Kenny Minchey's not running the ball 15 times a game, folks. He's just not. His best asset is his arm. So there's going to be a lot of things that they do similarly within the system of the offense. Now, as far as like naming the starter, publicly, I don't care when they do it. I mean, from my chair, as long as I could find out at 7:40 p.m. on August 31st when they tried out the offense, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's CJ today. Like, that's okay with me as long as they know. And that's something that Brian's talked a lot about on the show. As long as the team knows who the starting quarterback is, I'm kosher. But as far as like strategy on the field, potentially, but I don't think there's going to be a big divide. Like outside of the blue gold game, they haven't seen them play in games anyways. So they're going to have to be preparing for the rushing attack and Jeremiah Love. And I don't think their main strategy is keeping it a secret for week one. So I understand where you're coming from here, Jake, but I'm going to sell it because if they hold off from naming him publicly, I don't think that would be the reason.
They're not going to do that. So I will sell it because I don't think that's how Marcus Freeman rolls. He's not Jim Harbaugh. Remember, Jim Harbaugh wasn't even putting out like a two deep, like at all. Like nothing a few years ago. Like that's not Marcus Freeman. Like I would be shocked if they don't name a starter within the first 10 days of camp. So, like, my anniversary is on August 7th. I would say if they haven't named a starter by my anniversary or maybe a day later, I would be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at. I think it's going to be quick. I think it's going to be relatively painless. I think it's going to be like a throw-in at the beginning of a press conference. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and by the way, so-and-so is going to be our starter.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I just don't think Marcus Freeman's brain works like in these subterfuge type of ways. So that's a sell for me. Another one from Jake. Buy, sell, hold. Notre Dame's top four wide receivers, Fields, Greathouse, Faison, and Pulling, will garner the majority of the meaningful reps, moving them around to different spots. And Notre Dame will go beyond those four, except in garbage time, considering those four stay healthy all season.
Sell. I buy the first part. I think they will garner the majority of meaningful reps, but I sell the fact that they will not go beyond those four except in garbage time. I very well could see Micah Gilbert coming in and playing meaningful snaps if he has a good fall camp, because I don't think the expectation is for Malachi Fields to come in and play 900 snaps at the boundary receiver position this year. One of Cam Williams or KK Smith needs to emerge this fall camp to be that lethal deep ball threat downfield. They're going to see some meaningful moments in games as well. So while I do agree that Fields, Greathouse, Faison, and Pauling will eat up the majority of the meaningful snaps and targets, I sell that it will only be those 4 except for in garbage time.
Yep. Right there with you. I think that they'll go to 6, and I think the 5 and 6 will rotate through, relatively frequently. But again, those top 4, I mean, that's going to be maybe not specifically, but that's going to be the order of receptions and yards and all of that. Like those 4 guys right there. But there'll be at least 2 guys that will get in there and do their thing as well. JGY Town, buy, sell, hold. One of these quarterbacks have to lead the upcoming team. Jack Cohn, Deshaun Kaiser, Everett Golson. I'm assuming everybody's healthy. Everybody's 100% go.
What would you do, Vince?
Talent-wise, I want to buy Everett, but I really like Jack. Like that's my issue right now. I'm selling Deshaun Kaiser. I just don't think he's a very good leader, and I don't think he's a very good locker room guy. So it would be between Everett and Jack, and I guess I'll take Everett because I think he's got more of a well-rounded talent pool. But man, Jack is a great leader. Like with this offensive line, I think Jack Cohn could have been really, really good at Notre Dame. But I'll go buy Everett, hold on Jack, and sell Deshaun.
I'm in the same order.
There you go. All right. Love it. All right. Buy, sell, hold. Which combo at safety would you take? Kyle Hamilton and Alohi Gilman, Xavier Watts and Matthias Farley, or Harrison Smith and Julian Love? Julian Love wasn't a safety at Notre Dame.
No.
He was a corner, so I think they're out. I think that's my opinion anyway. I think they're out of this mix. I think they're the sell group.
Yeah, because he didn't play safety in college, I agree with that. I'm probably going to buy Kyle Hamilton and Alohi Gilman.
Yeah, me too.
That's probably and it hurts me to put Xavier Watts in a bucket where I'm not buying it. But I think there would be, I'm trying to think of a way to word this. I love Xavier Watts, and his presence around the football was outstanding. He was a clutch football player. But I think with Xavier Watts and Matthias Farley, I think there is a clear athletic advantage to the Kyle Hamilton group. I'm a 6'4" guy, rangy. I mean, yeah, I'm buying Kyle Hamilton, Alohi Gilman. I'm holding Xavier Watts, Matthias Farley, and I'm going to sell Harrison Smith and Julian Love for the sole fact that Julian Love was not a safety at Notre Dame.
Right. I'm with you. Buy, sell, hold. Notre Dame rushes for over 300 yards. Which team will it be against? Miami, A&M, or USC?
No. For over 300 yards?
That's a lot of yards.
I mean, gosh, Miami and Texas A&M are going to have good front sevens. I'm gonna buy USC. Until shown differently, I don't think they're going to be physical.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't physical the last time they came to South Bend. They don't like being hit in the mouth.
Correct.
It's kind of Notre Dame's identity. So I'll buy USC, I'll hold Miami, and I'll sell Texas A&M.
Yep.
I don't see a Mike Elko defense getting ran on for 300 yards.
Right. That's my order as well. I think Miami's going to be surprised, even though they're going to come out to stop the run. Like that will be their primary focus. There's no doubt about it. But they're going to have some halftime adjustments because of the Notre Dame's passing game. And then I think that's where Notre Dame dominates on the ground.
Well, I mean, look, Notre Dame last year on the road against USC's defense. I mean, Jeremiah Love almost had 100 yards rushing at the half, and then he got hurt. Then Jadarian Price came in, and then he rushed for over 100.
Right.
I mean, they got close last year, didn't they? I mean, I don't know how many rushing yards Riley Leonard accounted for that game. I'm pulling it up right now. So last season as a team, Notre Dame rushed for 258 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. And they arguably Texas A&M was better last year than they are this year on their front, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm still buying USC. I mean, rushing for 258 yards against the Trojans on the road. Yeah, they averaged 6.8 yards per carry. And that's just because Riley Leonard averaged 4.2. Jadarian Price averaged 9.3 yards per carry, and Jeremiah Love averaged 7.6. They wanted nothing to do with either of them.
Awesome.
Not a one.
Missed Emil Wagner, buy, sell, hold. Julius Jones Jr. or Quentin Burrell are both slightly better recruits than Monshun Sales, but Sales is still a stud.
I'll be honest with you. This is definitely more of a Brian question. I've watched highlight tapes of all three of those guys, and I guess I don't know what you would classify as like they're better recruits, I guess you could say. All I'll say is Julius Jones Jr. and Quentin Burrell are very high priorities for Notre Dame's 2027 recruiting class, especially at the receiver position. Monson Sales, I agree. He is also a stud. So I guess if you want to view it as slightly better recruits in Notre Dame's eyes, sure. But as far as like what their games are individually and how Brian has his grading scale, I don't know how he would rate that. But I mean, Julius Jones Jr. he's a stud, an absolute stud, and that was his sophomore year last year. So sure, I'll buy it.
I got nothing to add to this. You know more about recruiting than I do, so there we go. D Torpy, buy, sell, hold, or buy one player, sell one, hold one for who has the best career at Notre Dame. Jadon Blair, Joey O'Brien, or Tay Johnson. None of these guys have seen the field yet for Notre Dame, so it is complete projection.
I mean, I don't want to sell any of these guys.
Right?
I mean, who has the best career for Notre Dame? Let's see.
While you're thinking about it, I will just say, just based on what I hear from Brian and what I hear when we do commitment shows and things of that nature, the order that this is written is the order that I will go in. So I will buy Blair, I will hold O'Brien, and I will sell Johnson.
Good deal.
I have no I mean, look, they could all prove me wrong in one direction or multiple, right? But you're forcing me to choose. That's the direction I'm going.
I'm going to buy Jadon Blair at boundary safety. I'm going to buy Joey O'Brien at field safety. And I'm going to buy Tay Johnson as he'll have the best career as a rotational safety along with those three. I don't want to sell any three of those ones.
Cheater.
I didn't hold.
Jalen G, based on the contributions, the least appreciated by Notre Dame fans is buy, sell, hold Anthony Tresh, Matt Jansen, Javon Codlin. Are these all like behind the scenes people?
I'm assuming so.
I can't answer this.
I don't have an answer for it. I'm sorry, Jalen G. I just don't. This is a good question. I know Javon Codlin. He's like a defensive backs analyst.
Okay.
On Irish Invasion Day, he was the one that was like getting super hyped up.
Gotcha.
Around all of the high school recruits, and I know he works closely with Mike Mickens and that company. I apologize. I just don't know enough about Anthony Tresh and Matt Jansen to answer the question fully. So,
I mean, Anthony Tresh is the numbers guy, right? The analytics guy that has been with Marcus Freeman this past year.
Right. I'll say this. I buy that they are underappreciated in what their process, what their hand has been in Notre Dame's success. I buy that. I don't have enough information. I don't know enough to rank them.
Yep. 100%. I know what Tresh's contribution was to the team, and I think it was invaluable to Marcus Freeman. They had meetings multiple times a week. He was there on game day, all of those different kinds of things. I just don't know what Matt and Javon do on a day-to-day basis and what they've had their fingerprints on and all of those different things. And it's probably in the recruiting world, I would imagine. And so I just don't follow recruiting close enough. I know Notre Dame's doing really good in recruiting, so they're probably doing really, really good, but I don't know enough about their day-to-day and who they are and what their job responsibilities are to really comment on this. So, but I mean, great question. I would resubmit this, Jalen.
I would too.
For maybe next week when Brian is on, or put it on the board maybe as well. Cause I'm not sure if Brian's going to be doing these for the rest of the summer. But we'll have
Friday mailbag.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a great question, man. I just don't have the knowledge to really get into it. But great question. Aiden Benami, Nick Reddish will be the next BMO/Leonard Moore 3-star that is underrated and breaks out.
I buy it as a possibility, but that's putting lofty expectations on somebody coming off of an injury that hasn't played in his senior year of high school yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are lofty expectations. I mean, Ben Morrison might be the best corner who's played at Notre Dame since Todd Light, and Leonard Moore might be the one that dethrones Ben Morrison. Like I can't put Nick Reddish in that category right now. There's just too much.
Not fair to Nick.
Yeah, exactly. Is it a possibility? Absolutely, it's a possibility. Sure. But I'm going to sell it for now because he's coming off of an injury. He hasn't played a senior year of high school yet, and we're talking about two guys who could arguably be. I mean, we could fast forward 20 years from now and still be talking about Benjamin Morrison and Leonard Moore.
Right. So, absolutely. Yep.
As of today, it's a sell. But would it surprise me? Absolutely not.
Yep, I'm with you. This was probably for you as well. Buy, sell, hold. If you wanted to flip a 4-star or a 5-star to Notre Dame during the 25 season, it would be Dre Quinn or a linebacker.
I mean, if I wanted to, sure, I would buy that as a possibility. But again, if Notre Dame is able to close on Elijah Golden on July 26th, I think their class is full. I don't think there would be a need to. But I guess if they wanted to, I could see it either being a linebacker or, depending on how Elijah Golden's commitment goes on July 26th, they could try to flip a defensive lineman, which I believe Dre Quinn is. So, yeah, I'd buy that as a possibility depending on what happens on July 26th.
There you go. Love it. Another one from Iden. Buy, sell, hold. You're surprised Mike Gundy held off paying players in NIL until this past December, even though it's going to be on for 2 to 3 years now. He spoke openly the other day about OSU. P.S. Love Gundy.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that he did that.
Me neither.
He held off paying players NIL until this past December, even though it's been going on for 2 to 3 years now.
So he didn't buy into the NIL thing and didn't pay anybody anything, and that might be why they stunk last year.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
I mean, I buy that. I'm surprised because I didn't even know that he did that. So yes, I am surprised. Iden. So buy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you went 3-9 in a season, and then you didn't even pay the guys who came and played. That's pretty wild.
It's bold. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. That's for sure.
See if it pays off for him,
man. So yeah, I buy that. I'm surprised for sure. Mike Gundy's been around the block for a long time. I know he's old school, but that's real old school, and that's taking your old schoolness to the limit and almost got you fired. So it's probably not the way you want to roll at this point, would be my guess. Another one from Iden. Old Signetti seems pretty daunted canceling Louisville last year and Virginia yesterday.
Look, big picture, I buy this. I need to do a little bit more digging to see how much of a hand Curt Signetti had in formulating what the schedule is. I'll say this. It's a bad look. You're going to come on and you're going to be the Google me guy. You're going to be we beat the you-know-what out of top 25 teams, and then you're going to get decimated by the only 2 top 25 teams you played all last season. You're going to hang your hat on beating a not-so-good Michigan team at 6-5, 20-15. And then you're going to cancel more Power 4 opponents to put on Kennesaw State. It's a bad look. I don't know how much of a hand Curt Signetti played in it, but I mean, I don't know what that says about I don't want to call it upper management. I guess like the administrative office at Indiana, upper management, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they have faith that they can replicate that again. But look, it's not like they're canceling games against Alabama and Texas and Notre Dame in the regular season. They canceled Louisville and Virginia. Virginia was one of the worst Power 4 teams in college football last year. You canceled that? Kind of tells me a whole lot.
That tells me that you could have had a Power 4 W on your calendar, on your schedule, and you canceled it. I think reality is going to strike here very soon for the Hoosiers, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Buy, sell, hold. If we play 14 to 16 games, one D lineman will have over 7 or more sacks. That's a buy for me. Seven's not that big of a number when you're playing 14 to 16 games. Sack every other game. 1 sack every other game.
Shoot. Riley Mills had that as a defensive tackle. Now, mind you, he was their best pass rusher at times last year. But, Riley Mills had that. He had 7.5. So he had 1 more a half a sack more than that, and didn't play against Georgia, Penn State, or Ohio State.
Right.
Yeah, that's a definite buy for me.
Yep. If you put that number at like 10, then maybe we're having more of a conversation. But at 7, it's a definite buy for me.
Yeah.
BA 5083, buy, sell, hold. Mike Mickens will not become a defensive coordinator until he first becomes a linebacker coach.
Sell. No, you don't have to be a linebacker coach to become a defensive coordinator. Mike Elko wasn't. I mean, shoot, Chris Ash specialized in coaching defensive backs. Like, it has nothing to do with your ability to be a linebacker coach. I get where you're coming from because, linebacker, leader of the defense, you're calling plays, signaling plays. That does not impact your ability to be a defensive coordinator, though. I'm selling that.
Yep, completely agree. I mean, if you're a young guy just trying to round out your resume, and you want to coach multiple positions to make yourself more sellable as a defensive coordinator, okay. Look, Mike Mickens could go just about anywhere and probably become a defensive coordinator. His lack of coaching linebackers is not the issue.
No.
It is the issues that he wants to stay at Notre Dame. He wants to stay with Marcus Freeman, and he's willing to put in his time in order to do that. I mean, it's nothing to do with where he's at. So it's a sell for me as well.
I think Kirby Smart's background was also coaching defensive backs.
I think it was, yeah. And so was Nick Saban. There's a trend. Okay. Ham Sartman, a dystopian buy, sell, hold. This will be interesting. Within 5 years, at least one FBS program will eliminate the conventional head coach role and be run by AI, from recruiting and NIL strategy to game day play calling, usually using only rotating coordinators, also selected by an algorithm.
Sell.
We're not ready for that yet, man. Like, I'm not anyway.
I mean, if that happens, then Skynet's probably gone live, and we're probably not really focusing on football at the moment anyways. I'll say that.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge sell for me. I love where your head's at, man. I do love like the thought process and like, what is the future going to look like and all of those different things, but it's a sell for me. Like, I sell every single part of this. Cause right now, people, like specifically to Notre Dame, like Marcus Freeman got crap for hiring a guy that does analytics, let alone like if he had like an iPad in front of him that was telling him what plays to call, you know what I mean? So like, it's a huge sell for me, not only from a practical standpoint, but from a PR standpoint, just not good at all. Joe Allen, 72, buy, sell, holding. Game interviews with players, coaches, and whatever celebrity who is there to watch the game need to stop in all sports. Halftime with the coaches is acceptable.
I don't, and I'm going to apologize. I think for whatever reason,
somebody's mowing the lawn.
No, our maintenance man is just standing outside of our window just with a leaf blower. I got nothing on that. I have no idea why. So my apologies if you guys can hear that. But I hate the interviews with players in between quarters. Like halftime, I don't mind, but in-game interviews with players, like, I mean, I don't understand the need. Celebrities, it is what it is. At the end of the day, like NFL football, college football, like it's also a spectacle. So I guess if they want to interview whoever, it is what it is. I'm kind of impartial there. It's annoying, but I don't mind halftime interviews with coaches, but I despise it with the players.
Agreed on all fronts. I will say that I understand why they do it in the women's game. Because they're just trying to drum up more viewers and some things like that. It's like, I totally get that. If we're just talking about football specifically, you can interview the celebrities on the sideline. That's fine. You can interview coaches at halftime. They only get like one question anyway, and it's usually a canned answer. So, what are you really getting out of that? But it's fine. They're paid millions of dollars. That you can talk to them. I don't have a problem with that. But stay away from the players till the game's over. Definitely that. No, I wouldn't. As a coach, I wouldn't want my players being interviewed in the middle of a game. I would even push back on halftime for players. You know what I mean? Like, they're no, they need to focus on the game. After the game, talk to them all you want. During the game, that's a hard no. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Buy, sell, hold. Brian Kelly's SEC Media Day weirdness just makes you all the more convinced that the Notre Dame football program is and will be in a much better place without him.
I didn't have to see the SEC Media Day, Joe, to buy this.
I need to watch it. Somebody brought this up yesterday, and I meant to watch it. And he said he didn't really like say anything crazy, but it was just the whole vibe was just off.
His mannerisms are weird.
Yeah.
Like he's just an interesting cat.
And he thinks he's so funny. That's part of the problem too. You know, you've got that friend who, and he may not even be a friend, but that person that you know that just thinks they're hilarious and laughs at their own jokes. And like, you're just like, what are you talking about? That was Brian Kelly. Like, he thought he was hilarious when he was at Notre Dame. And everybody would like laugh along with him, kind of like if the president's not funny, you just laugh with him, you know, like that's what people would do. And it's awkward and it's weird and it's very much who he was. So I am going to have to make a point to watch his SEC Media Day interview for sure.
Nothing that he said was weird. It's just some of the mannerisms. Like I think he's just kind of awkward.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Which is weird. Like, you've been interviewed a million times, dude. Like, why? Anyway, it's a buy. It's a buy for me as well, Joe. No doubt about it. From Eye on the Ball, buy, sell, hold, number one ranked top states in order. Wow. In order with NFL players.
Rank it in order.
Rank it in order, everybody. A, California, Florida, Texas, Georgia. B, Florida, Texas, California, Georgia. Or C, Texas, Florida, California, Georgia. Apparently, he doesn't have a whole lot of respect for Georgia, I guess. I don't know.
I guess not. Look, man, I don't know enough.
Is this supposed to be like where they live, where they come
like where they came from? Like, are we talking about like where they went to college? Are we talking about like where they went to high school? I would assume high school.
Okay. So basically, what are the best states to recruit from? Right?
Yeah, I mean, then I guess that I would go CBA.
Yep.
I guess.
Me too. Yep. That's exactly what I would do. I think Florida and Texas are by far the best, and California is right up there, and Georgia is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good, but I don't think it holds a candle to Texas and Florida. And that's probably why I on the ball put Georgia fourth every time. So, yeah, CBA, I agree. Buy, sell, hold number two, rank the next four states. We've got A, Louisiana, Ohio, Alabama, Pennsylvania. B, Ohio, Louisiana, Alabama, North Carolina. Or C, Ohio, Louisiana, North Carolina, Alabama. I'll go B, C, A.
I'll go just to shake things up. I'll just take them in the order that they are. Louisiana at 1, just for the sole purpose that they have Jamar Chase. He came from Louisiana, and he's the best receiver in the NFL right now. I said what I said. And A also because they have that's the only option with Pennsylvania in there. Pennsylvania historically has produced some pretty good NFL players. You know, I mean, that dates back to like the 80s and stuff when, Ricky Waters came out of Pennsylvania. So, I'll switch up the order. I'll go A, C, B.
All right. I like it. All right. Next on the list. Irish Wolfhound. Notre Dame makes the playoffs in 25. 1, with a 10-2 record. 2, even if the best player from every position group has a season-ending injury in the fall. Well, that's awesome.
Why would you? Okay.
So those are the two that...
I mean, I guess we'll do each one of these in order then. I mean, look, I'm going to hold number 1. It depends on who they lose to.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if they go...
What if they start out 0-2?
I mean, if they start out 0-2, I don't know where that puts them in the rankings. You know, and then I don't know what marquee win they would have to vault them back up to the top. You know what I mean? I mean, even if Navy's good, I mean, Notre Dame didn't get that much credit last year for beating Navy. They were undefeated when they played and ranked in the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would be banking on USC being good, Arkansas being good. I mean, they get some credit for rattling off 10 straight wins, but I mean, in my eyes, you have to go 1-1 in the first 2 games at least.
Sure.
Like on paper, I get it because, you know, last year they made it at 11-1 and lost to Northern Illinois at home. So I get the argument. I'm just trying to think of what if Notre Dame goes 10-2, they're going to be relying on a lot of stuff in front of them to happen. I'll say that. So I'm holding because I'm not going to sit here and say that they're not going to make the playoffs at 10-2, but I can't say for certainty they make it at 10-2. Depends on who they lose to.
I feel very good about Notre Dame making it at 10-2. Of course, it has to do with who they lose to and all of that. If it was 16 teams this year, I'd feel obviously better about it. But even in the manner of which it is right now with the playoff that they've got going on, I still think 10-2 gets them in. They'll be on the bubble, like they'll be on the road the first round, but I still think that they get in. So I will buy that they get in. The second one, even if the best player from every position group has a season-ending injury in the fall, that's awful, first of all. And if the best player from every position group gets hurt, no, they're not going to make the playoff.
I love the depth of this team, but like, oh gosh, I don't even want to think about that. I mean, I just started going through the names in my head. That's terrible. Like I'd sell with, as what Brian likes to say, sell with ferocity.
Yes. Yeah. I don't even want to have anything to do with this possibility. No. So we're getting out of here. Double bogey. With the rumors that Saban wants to come back to coaching, Notre Dame would be an ideal school as it attracts the type of kid he wants to coach. Not saying I believe it or want this to happen.
I don't know, man. The rumors that Saban wants to come back to coaching, Notre Dame would be an ideal school.
I mean, it might be an ideal school, but go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, it might be ideal athletes, but I don't know if Nick Saban's going to want to have to deal with the academic parameters that comes with being at Notre Dame. I don't know if that's something he's going to want to have to deal with because it's going to be completely different from anything that he's had to coach before at the collegiate level. You know, I mean, the closest thing academic standard-wise to Notre Dame that he's coached at the college level as a head coach was Michigan State, probably, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so no, I sell that.
Yeah, me too. It's a huge sell for me because I know Nick Saban is one of, if not the best college football coach ever to put on a weird straw hat. But I don't want to give up what Notre Dame has going right now. So it's a sell for me. And I agree with you. I don't think Saban wants to deal with all the extra that comes with being the Notre Dame head coach. And there's a lot of extra. And I just don't think that that's who he is or who he wants to be, especially at this point in his career. So it's a hard pass for me. Sell. Buy, sell, hold. Brady Quinn's passing records will not be broken.
Like all of them?
He's back. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's got a bunch of them. Don't get me wrong. He's got a bunch of records because he played the longest. Well, he didn't play the longest. That would have been Ian Book. Let's see. Notre Dame passing records. I've looked at these before. So Brady Quinn leads the career passing yards with 11,762. The second place person is Ian Book, and he has 3,000 less yards. That one might be tough to get to because I don't know that quarterbacks are going to be around long enough to break that particular record. So that one I think is pretty safe. Single season, if a quarterback gets 4,000 yards, they will beat his single season. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but I think it could potentially happen. Single game is 526 by Joe Theismann. So Brady Quinn's best is 487, and that is third place. So he doesn't even have that particular record. Passing touchdowns is Brady Quinn for a career. He's got 95. Don't see that one getting touched anytime soon. Second place is 23 behind him is Ian Book with 72. Single season is 37 touchdowns. That's a possibility.
I think the single season ones are more likely to be broken than the career ones.
Yep.
because I don't know how long CJ or Kenny, depending on who wins the starting job, is going to be in South Bend.
Yep.
I mean, single game passing touchdowns is 6 versus BYU. That's a maybe. You know,
possibility. Yeah.
I just don't.
I mean, look, the 37 touchdown one is probably the closest one, I would say, to potentially getting beat at some point, because let's say you play 16 games, that's a little over 2 touchdowns a game. If you play 14 games, that's 2.5 touchdowns a game. That's doable. You play more games now than you ever used to in the past, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'll buy that one of his passing records gets broken. I'm not saying it's this year, but, records are made to be broken, as they say. So I'll buy that. Oh, no, I'll sell it because it says will not be broke.
Yeah, so. I'm selling it as well. I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay, buy one, sell one, hold one of these coaches to coach at Notre Dame. Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh, Kirby Smart. I'm selling every one of them. I'm sorry.
If I had to, I guess buy Urban Meyer because he's already coached at Notre Dame before.
Right. Now, this isn't who we would want. This says that they would, right?
Buy one, sell one, hold one of these coaches to coach at Notre Dame. It sounds like which one we would want, I guess. I mean, it would still be by Urban Meyer. I think it would be which one we would want. That's how I'm answering it. Double bogey, if you're in the chat, let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm interpreting that differently. And then, I mean, between the last two, it's like, I mean, it's kind of like, what do I want, player problems or a program problem?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I mean, I guess in that light, I guess I'll go buy Urban Meyer, hold Kirby Smart, and sell Jim Harbaugh. I don't feel great about answering that question in the slightest.
No.
Urban
Meyer's my buy. The other two are a toss-up, like you said. Kirby Smart would not be successful at Notre Dame. He just wouldn't be. I just don't think he would embrace what Notre Dame is and how you need to operate at Notre Dame. So I just don't think that would work. And Jim Harbaugh is crazier than Urban Meyer. So, and Jim Harbaugh, if he comes back to college, he's not even going to be coaching because he will have to sit out and pay some penalties for being the head coach that he was at Michigan. So he wouldn't even be able to coach, is my guess, right away if you brought him in. So that's a hard pass for me. So I guess it would be buy Urban, it would be hold Kirby, and it would be sell Jim.
Yeah.
So, but none of those choices are good ones right now, just based on all of their track records. And
I mean, I'm at the point where if anybody wants to pound their fist on the table and disagree with me, I'm not going to have any.
No,
I'm not going to have any issue with it. I didn't want to buy any of them.
No, gosh, no. It's a sell. It's a fire sale. We're going out of business. All right, 13 reasons why buy, sell, hold when it comes to NIL. Offers have a bigger impact than rankings.
I guess, what do you mean by that? Like they're...
Yeah, like rankings as in like the team rankings, like where they are. Like basically you're saying that players are chasing the bag. Is that what they're saying?
I'm not sure. 13 reasons. If you're in the chat, clear up kind of what you mean by this, because on their school list offer,
as in kids are chasing the bag, right? Isn't that what it means?
I'm assuming so. When it comes to NIL, offers have a bigger impact than what the ranking.
So as in, like, if Notre Dame's ranked 5th in the nation, coming out of 25 or 24 or whatever, it depends on what they're going to offer them in an NIL package as to whether they'll come to Notre Dame or not. Right?
I'm not sure. I'm reading it in the chat right now. It's their school list. Okay, the more bigger name schools you have offer a scholarship, the more NIL that player is going to get offered. I guess I'm just, when it comes to NIL, offers have a bigger impact than rankings. Like the school's ranking, so you're saying that whoever's being recruited will put more emphasis on the money that they're getting than who the school is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how to answer this. I'm sorry, 13 reasons. Like I said, if you're in the chat, let me know. But I mean, I'll say this just so we don't go like not answering your question. I think depending on the player, the amount of money will weigh heavily on where you decide to go. Now, luckily at Notre Dame, they've done a really good job on the recruiting trail to kind of negate the last second flips or, what it is, because they're attracting players that want to come to Notre Dame and be a part of the program and the culture and the tradition at that school, not just who's securing a paycheck. So I guess I'd sell for who Notre Dame is looking to attract, but I'm not naive to the fact that it's definitely out there. There's definitely bag chasers out at the high school level, and some for valid reasons, I get. So, yeah, I guess it just kind of depends on the recruit, I suppose. I'm sorry if I completely botched that answer, but
yeah, I think like I'm reading through the chat, I'm trying to figure out kind of what this means as well, and I feel like they're saying that schools are offering big NIL packages. That means more than the big name of the school that's offering you a scholarship. It's I'll buy it for some players, but I don't buy it for all players. Like it's just every
subjective.
player is different. Like there's certain players you could throw them all the money in the world. It's not going to make a difference as to what school they pick. Now they're not going to just pick a school and not take any money, if it's going to be offered to them. But like if my kid was a high level recruit and he was being offered NIL packages at various schools, like those are all well and good. He's not selecting a school based on how much money they're going to pay him. He's going to select a school based on the school itself, the coaching staff, all of those. Like that's how my kid would be. Now, I might have a friend whose kid would be completely different, whose parents are just wanting to make as much money off their kid as they possibly can. And then that's who wins the recruitment. So it varies kid to kid.
It also depends on if we're talking about high school recruiting or transfer portal recruiting.
Good point.
I think transfer portal recruiting, NIL, plays a much bigger factor than what a team's ranking is. So, yeah.
Good point. All right, buy, sell, hold. NIL inflation will come from teams' desperation and not player market value. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, absolutely. We're already seeing it.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why they're going to try to put a cap on stuff, because it's like MLB free agency. Like it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. And there's just no cap to it. They're trying to put a cap to it so that things start to get evened out. That's why all these kids and all these schools are trying to throw money at kids in weird ways and like trying to give them money while they're still in high school because they know that cap is coming. And so, yeah, this is absolutely true.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. How about buy, sell, hold? Clemson went after Devin Fitzgerald not to keep Notre Dame from getting him, but because they see his potential, of becoming a top-tier wide receiver.
I absolutely buy this. Yeah, I mean, look, you don't have the recruiting, you don't have the type of wide receiver class that Clemson has and then go after Devin Fitzgerald just to try to be petty and make sure Notre Dame doesn't get them.
Right.
I mean, you go and you look at who they've already gotten as wide receivers in this class. I mean, I know they got Connor Salmon. I mean, they also picked up or come in from Naeem Burrows, two great wide receivers in that class. They had Gordon Sellers in that class, another really good pickup. And I believe that was it. But I mean, you had good wide receivers in that class. I mean, there was no reason to go get him other than you really liked him as a prospect. So, yeah, I buy that.
Yep, I buy it as well for all the same reasons. Moving on. Omaha Josh, buy, sell, hold. Boubacar, Bryce Young, or Josh Burnham to have the best career at Notre Dame.
You guys are killing me with this best career stuff.
I know, right?
Oh, man. I mean, look.
Well, you got two more coming after this, which I think are even harder.
I mean, if I had to rank them, I would go Bryce Young. Bryce Young, Josh Burnham, then Boubacar, but Boubacar is going to be the highest riser. I just got to see him stay healthy. Mm-hmm. He was injured coming out of high school. He got injured last season. I mean, it's going to depend on how he comes back this year healthy. But as of right now, I mean, I would buy Bryce Young.
Me too.
Subject to change, but yeah, as of right now, that's where I'm going.
All right, KVA, Ferramo, and Osbury.
I mean, I know it's something that we have to project, but right now I'll go buy, sell, hold or I guess I'll go 1, 2, 3 in that order. KVA, Faremo, and Osbury.
Agreed. Yep, that's where I'm at as well. And it's not even Osbury's fault. I just think he's kind of a tweener. And he's kind of fallen into that trap of being a tweener. And he was recruited to be a rover, and they don't really use the rover like they did when he got recruited. You know what I mean? It doesn't make him any less of a player. It just makes him kind of a square peg in a round hole. You know what I mean? And they'll find a niche for him, and he will be successful, and he will help Notre Dame and all of those things. But he's not going to be on the field as much as KVA and Faremo. And that's going to hurt him.
Well, I mean, Osbury also does some of his best work coming in like as that role player. Like he comes in and they just let him run wild on like the second or third series on defense. And I mean, he'll start from time to time. But like, look, Osbury doesn't have to be in the starting lineup to be productive. I mean, he finished on the team tied second in tackles for a loss and finished fifth on the team in overall tackles. And he started 2 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think KVA and Faremo have the opportunity to potentially start alongside one another down the road. And so it kind of begs the question, where does Osbury fit in there? So it's not because I think he's a bad player. And Vince, I echo everything that you said. It's just, I mean, KVA has the opportunity to be one of the best linebackers Notre Dame has had in quite some time. And that says something because they've had really good linebacker play.
Agreed.
I mean, all 3 of their starting linebackers from 2023 got drafted.
Right. Good point. All right. Same question. Golden, Blair, or O'Brien? Similar to one we had already.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to sell any of these guys.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, and it's tough because like the second one, they were all linebackers, and the third one, and the first one, they were all edge rushers. Like Dallas Golden's not going to play safety. So that's tough. You know, like he might have an amazing career at corner or at nickel corner, but like how do you relatively compare that to Blair or O'Brien at safety? You know what I mean? So I guess I'll buy both Blair and O'Brien, and I'll hold Dallas Golden.
Okay. I can dig that. All right. Let's see here. The next one from Omaha, Josh. Buy, sell, hold. There are no external inhibitors to the success of the football. Wow. I'm going to start over because apparently English is not my first language right now. There are no external inhibitors to the success of the football program. For example, school admin, lack of finances, academic deans, etc.
Sell. I mean, we've seen it at Notre Dame before in the past where school administration kind of gets in the way of the overall, like the ceiling success of what a Notre Dame program can have. You know, there's absolutely external factors that play into the success of a football program. Absolutely there is. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I
think he's asking, are they there now? Like, have they eliminated those?
Oh.
Because they used to be, right? Just ask Brian Kelly, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
But have they eliminated those?
Gotcha. I misunderstood. That's a good
my
point.
guess anyway.
I mean, if that's the case, then I'd buy. Like, I didn't know it was for Notre Dame specifically. If that's the case, then I absolutely buy. Like, Pete Bravacqua has been very open in saying that, like Notre Dame as a university, as a program, they are all hands on deck to bring Notre Dame its 12th national title, and I believe that to be so. We've seen that come to fruition. They were able to go out and get Mike Denbrock. They were able to replace Dylan McCullough and Al Golden this past offseason, and the recruiting obviously has not taken any sort of step back under this new regime. So if we're talking about Notre Dame specifically, then yeah, I buy this. Going into 2025, there aren't any external inhibitors that I'm aware of, but college football as a whole, that is absolutely still prevalent. So I would sell it if we're talking about college football as a whole, but I'm buying it as far as Notre Dame going into this season.
Agreed. I'm with you all the way with that one. Buy, sell, hold. With growing parity through NIL and the portal, national champions will be more commonly be teams who get hot at the right time. Can I take a stab at this one first?
All you.
All right. So I think that is true of any sport where there's a playoff in place, a multi-round playoff, right? How many times have we seen a wild card team in the NFL, go on the road and win all their games and win the Super Bowl, right? I just think that with this new way of things, and I don't know that it has anything to do with NIL or the portal or any of that kind of stuff, Because once you've gone through a whole season, that stuff doesn't matter anymore. That stuff matters in the offseason. That stuff matters with recruiting and all of that. But I would venture to say that the hottest team is the team that's going to win the playoff 9 times out of 10. And if you catch fire at the right time, towards the end of the season and then into the playoff, you got as great a shot as anybody to win the playoff. So I will buy the champions will more commonly be teams who get hot at the right time, but I'm selling NIL and the portal as to the reason why.
Yeah, I'm completely on board with that. I mean, Ohio State last year got hot at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was projecting them as the best team in college football after they lost at home 13-10 to a 6-5 football team.
Right. Yep.
But you get 3 weeks to a month off, you get your mind right, and you do what you did to Tennessee and Oregon. There was no doubt that going into what would that have been, the semifinals, Ohio State was the hottest team in the playoffs. So it's all about being able to go on a run. Look at the Bengals in 2021.
Right.
They got hot at the right time, made it to the Super Bowl, and lost on the last offensive drive of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I absolutely buy that. Again, to Vince's point, I don't know how much it has to do with NIL in the portal. Maybe you're saying teams that are hot on the recruiting trail will kind of get hot in the playoffs. So maybe, but it's just about what team can pull it all together in November and December.
Yep. 100%.
Momentum is very real in college football, in sports in general. But
would anybody say that Notre Dame wasn't hot in the playoff? A lot of things went their way in the playoff. You know what I mean? A lot of things went their way. They got hot, and their hot streak ended one game too soon. So
they just went up against a team that was hotter.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Momentum has a lot to do with how you advance in the play. It happens every year in baseball. It happens every year in the NFL. Anywhere where there's the NCAA tournament for basketball, the hot team wins almost every year.
Look at the Pacers.
Right.
on paper,
no business being in the finals.
Yeah, but they got hot. They were a team. Up until the All-Star break, the Pacers were on the outside looking in as far as the playoff goes. And then they got hot at the right time, pieced it together, and they got really hot in the playoffs. And then just an unfortunate injury in Game 7 ended their chances of winning. But they were as hot as any team in the NBA, and they went to the finals. So absolutely buy that getting hot at the right time is going to be key.
Right. Completely agree with that. All right. From Omaha, Josh, buy, sell, hold. Mid-major programs like Texas Tech and Houston will empty the coffers for a handful of elite recruits. We'll see returns on their investments.
Hold for a couple different reasons. One, I'm not crazy familiar with Texas Tech and Houston's recruiting class, but also it depends on if it's the right fit. I draw the analogy back to Texas A&M where they had, the number one recruiting class, and it was spectacular because they got all these highly ranked recruits. Well, along the defensive line, they picked up 5 or 6 guys to play 2 spots. Did you see a return on investment on all 5 or 6 of those guys? No, maybe 2 or 3 of them, or is it going to be a situation where Texas Tech and Houston are recruiting similar to what Notre Dame is, and they're recruiting to fill a need, so that's just too tough to say. Do you have an elite recruiting class because you're filling the needs at spots, or do you just have a highly ranked recruiting class because you got, 3 4 to 5 star offensive linemen, but they're all left tackles. Play one of them at once. You know what I mean? So maybe.
I'm going to sell this. I'm still very not bullish on the let's empty the coffers and buy a team kind of a thing. That has not proven to me that it works yet, especially in a sustained manner. So, we'll see. Obviously, I think, SMU, I think there's a little bit of truth to SMU, and they made it to the playoff, but then they weren't really a contender in the playoff. So, what is the return on the investment that you're looking for? A conference championship? A run in the playoff? What exactly is a return on the investment? A national championship? I just don't see that happening. There are still, you can get the best team money can buy. That doesn't mean they're going to be a good team. And I maybe that's an old school way of thinking, and maybe I'll be proven wrong in the future, but it didn't work for Texas A&M. I mean, they spent a lot of money on that recruiting class a few years ago with Jimbo, and I don't see that paying off. You know what I mean? So, I have yet to see it work on a sustained basis. So I will sell this. And again, maybe I'm just being pessimistic, but I just don't like it. So I'm going to sell it. Lucky Duck 512, the 2024 recruiting class will have the most first-round draft picks out of the classes from 23 to 26. Not because the talent is so much better than the other groups, but because the top talent in 24 being at positions of value in the draft.
I could buy that. I mean, you go through and you look, the 24 class had Bryce Young, Kingston Viliamasa, CJ Carr.
Yeah.
Gerby Lambert, who's also a tackle.
Yeah.
Leonard Moore. Yeah.
That's probably a buy because those, tackle, corner, quarterback,
Anthony
defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like those are all very high valued positions in the NFL, and you get overdrafted on those.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame has elite players at those positions.
Yeah, but then again, the 23 class might also be up there in contention. Who knows what happens to Charles Jagasaw? Jeremiah Love's in that class. Boubacar Traore's in that class. Armel Mookham's in that class. Christian Gray, Drake Bowen, Sullivan Absher, if he can have a good season. It's up for debate. Adon Schuler. So, yeah, the 23 class might be up there. I definitely get where you're coming from. I definitely buy it as a possibility.
Yeah.
Lucky Duck.
I'll buy it. And the leading factor is tackles, defensive ends, quarterback.
Yep.
Like those are the three most prized, and corner. Like those are the four most prized deals. And 24 class has kind of that in spades right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Buy, sell, hold. Notre Dame has less double-digit wins this year, but will have more wins by 21 plus points.
They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins last year by 21.
Yeah, they're not going to have more than that.
Because how many double-digit wins do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 of their 10 wins last year were by 21 or more. Good Lord. So I'm a believer that the schedule is more difficult than last year's. If they have 8 21-point wins this year, Notre Dame's going to be getting a bye. I'm going to sell this because that's a lot of.
It's a lot.
21-point wins.
That is a lot.
Because that means they would have, if they had less, that means they would have like 9 wins by double digits, but 8 of them were by 21 points or more. As much as I would love to buy that, I'm going to sell that. But like we always say, if it happens, this Notre Dame team is going to be not one that other programs will want to face.
Right. Yeah, agreed. I'll sell it as well for all the same reasons. But yeah, that'd be wild if that took place. All right, buy, sell, hold. Christian Gray is a Thorpe Award finalist this season after being the guy teams throw at all year and coming away with a minimum 5 interceptions on the year.
Sell. And it has nothing to do with Christian Gray. I think the Thorpe Award finalist list is the most poorly voted upon list. Xavier Watts wasn't a finalist last year.
Correct.
Christian Gray could have 7 interceptions and not make the Thorpe Award finalist list. It's just, one year I think the winner of the Thorpe Award was from Air Force.
Okay.
I think.
It's a no-fly zone. Get it?
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Dad joke time.
Ooh. No, I am going to sell it though, and again, it has nothing to do with Christian Gray. I've been very bullish this year about how good of a season I think that Christian Gray is going to have. If Xavier Watts isn't going to make it on for the spectacular seasons that he had, and came back in 24 and did it again and wasn't a finalist, I don't see it happening for Christian Gray. Would love for it to be. But.
Sure. Well, and honestly, I understand the thought process here by Lucky Duck, and I get it. But being in the same defensive backfield as Leonard Moore is only going to hurt him here because they're not going to have two guys from the same school as a finalist. And if Leonard Moore is who we think Leonard Moore is, he could be a finalist, and they're not going to bring in, his co-pilot, so to speak. So, yeah, I'm going to sell this one as well. But, yeah, and Corey Dean says Gray is really good, though. Agreed. Christian Gray is really good. He will have a bunch of interceptions. They are going to pick on him, and he's going to make teams regret it. I absolutely believe that. I just don't think he's going to get the national love for it that he should.
In 2023, when Xavier Watts had 7 interceptions, the winner of the Thorpe Award was Trey Taylor from Air Force.
There you go.
In 2022, when Ben Morrison had his year, the winner was a TCU corner, Travius Hodges Tomlinson. I think it was like LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew or something.
That doesn't hurt.
And then last year was Jahdae Barron. The finalists were Caleb Downs, Jahdae Barron, and Malachi Starks from Georgia.
Who Notre Dame abused, by the way, but whatever. No big deal. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. Another one from Lucky Duck. Buy, sell, hold. The offense will have at least 3 touchdowns of 80-plus yards this year, excluding punt or kick returns.
Oh, what did I have last year?
I have no stat basis to answer this question. But
last year, Jeremiah Love had a 98-yarder.
We know that one. Yeah, I remember that one real well.
I had it written down somewhere that I think he might have had one in the 80s.
Okay.
I'm not sure. And then I don't think they had any pass plays of 80 yards or longer.
I think that's where they get one, right? Like, I think Jadarian Price, the combination of Price, Love, the rest of that backfield, they got a chance to break off a couple of runs this year. And I think the passing game will be legitimate enough that they could do that as well. So I'll buy this. I will buy the fireworks on this one.
I'm going to buy it, and I'll even go one step further and then say Eli Raridan has one of them.
Ooh. That one play we saw, I don't want to give out specifics, but that one play that we saw during spring, just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just saying. All right. Buy, sell, hold. If Butch Davis never left Miami after 2000, they would have won multiple championships following the 2001 title.
I don't have an opinion on the matter. I'm sorry. I was 3 years old.
I mean, I remember Miami, and they were really good. Obviously, Larry Coker came in and obviously ran the program back into the ground. I believe if that's the time frame that we're talking about. Yeah, I'll buy it just because he probably could have kept the train rolling a little bit longer. But I don't really have if Brian were here, he would pull up all the schedules and know the movements of all these coaches and the players and how it all went down, and probably remember recruiting classes and who went where and why and all of those things, and give you a much better answer than I could, Lucky Duck. I remember Larry Coker was an awful coach, and I remember thinking to myself, if that wasn't the case, they probably would have kept winning. So that's the only basis of the fact that I will buy this. So, yes. There we go.
Vince buys, and so am I. Boom.
And I wasn't 3, but I was in the middle of college, not really paying attention to what was going on. So,
fair enough.
I will say that much. Okay, here we go. Another one from Lucky Duck. Buy, sell, hold. If Saban never leaves LSU, he would have won more titles there than he did it at Alabama.
So, there's no way to know, but what he did at Alabama, I just don't think was replicatable anywhere else. Sometimes it's just the right coach goes to the right program at the right time, and I think that's what it was. I mean, I don't fully remember what all went into his decision to leave LSU, but I feel like if he thought he could have done it at LSU, he would have stayed there. Just big picture thinking about it, and I have no preconceived notion of why he decided to leave LSU, but more titles than what he did at Bama, sell.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I don't. How can you predict that he would have more titles than he did at Alabama, which made him the best head coach ever? You know what I mean? That's the only thing for me. That's the hard part. I don't know. It's a pass for me. No, it's a sell. Sorry, man. Okay. Buy, sell, hold. If Spurrier never leaves Florida in 2001, Urban Meyer would have been head coach at Notre Dame instead of Kelly. Here's my problem with this particular scenario. Those two things are not like connected. It was a different time frame because Urban Meyer went to Florida in 2005. And that's when he was at Bowling Green. He went to Bowling Green in 2001 to 2002 that was his first head coaching job. And then he went from Bowling Green to Utah in 2003 and 2004 and capitalized on his success at Utah and went to Florida from 2005 to 2010. Brian Kelly came to Notre Dame in 2009. So like Urban Meyer was contemplating coming to Notre Dame when Charlie Weiss was hired. So like the time frame doesn't line. Does that make sense, Trevor? Like the time frame doesn't line up. Whereas if Spurrier stayed, I don't know that would have had anything to do with what Urban Meyer did. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So
I mean, maybe it's just saying that like Urban would have just stayed at Notre Dame as an assistant until it was time to. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, Urban was an assistant under Bob Davie, wasn't he? Wasn't even Tyrone Willingham?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I got nothing.
Because the one doesn't have anything to do with the other, I guess is the point that I'm making. Like, if you would have said he was the head coach at Notre Dame instead of Charlie Weiss, then I would probably buy this because I think it came down to Florida or Notre Dame. And if the Florida job wasn't open because Spurrier stayed in 2001 and was there through 2005 and, wasn't an option for Urban Meyer in that, offseason, then yeah, he could have been at Notre Dame and that would have been in place of Charlie Weiss, not Brian Kelly. So it wouldn't be instead of Brian Kelly, it would be instead of Charlie Weiss.
Yeah.
So
Makes
there
sense.
you go. Yeah. But I mean, it's a good question, Lucky Duck. I'm just going to put in Charlie Weiss here and I will buy it because I do think he would have come to Notre Dame during that offseason. I think he was the number one choice and I think Charlie Weiss was second. So he would have been the head coach and he may have lasted longer than Charlie Weiss. You know what I mean? So if he lasts longer than Charlie Weiss, then Brian Kelly never comes to Notre Dame. So if you want to make that extrapolation, then I guess we could do that. But then, the whole world is different. So the whole football world is much, much different at that point. All right. Bracketed cover 3. Buy, sell, hold. Jagasaw, Lambert, Black, and McHugh comprise the most talented offensive tackle recruits listed as tackles out of high school in a 4-year span in the last 30 to 40 years. That's tough. Because Notre Dame recruited like only tackles when Harry Hiestand was here. But my depth of knowledge as to who was who and when and all of that is very limited.
I mean, here's what's tough. All of these guys have yet to. Jagasaw's started 2 games. Will Black just got to campus a month ago. McHugh still has his senior year of high school to go, and Lambert has yet to play in a meaningful game.
All truth.
And then I start thinking about, Notre Dame at offensive tackle, like left tackle specifically. They went from Zach Martin to Ronnie Stanley to Mike McGlinchey to – when did McGlinchey leave? To Liam Eichenberg to – 21 at one point was Blake Fisher, and then I think it went to like Joe Alt.
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of talent here.
I'll buy it as a possibility, but Jagasaw's got to stay healthy. Lambert's got to get back to health and then force his way onto the field, and then we'll see what happens with Will Black and McHugh. I mean, just based on recruiting ranking, sure, I'll buy it. Just because I don't want to keep saying I was too young, so I don't know. I was too young, so I don't know.
But you just rattled off some really, really good tackles in succession of each other. And again, there's been a lot of talent here at Notre Dame on the offensive line. So I'll sell it just because I know how much talent has been here. And there's too much question marks with guys that I have never seen play in a gold helmet before. So, yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, if we weren't able to answer your question sufficiently, share it and bring it up in like a mailbag or another buy sell hold or something.
Or put it on the board.
Yeah, because these are good questions, and I want to do it justice and get it answered. I just, in the last 30 to 40 years, I just can't answer that. I have no idea.
Right. All right. Let's see what we got here. From bracketed cover 3, buy, sell, hold. Chasten Smith is the most underrated player in the 26 class. Joey O'Brien is the best all-around athlete in the 26 class. Should Notre Dame secure Elijah Golden, defensive line will be the strongest position in the 26 class.
I mean, the defensive line would be in the conversation. The wide receiver group might have something to say about that. The offensive line might have something to say about that. I mean, look, I know it's only a two-man class, but having Javian Osborne, I mean, look, that running back class is nasty. I mean, potentially. Chaz Smith as the most, what did he say, underrated recruit in the class, Vince? Is that what it says?
Chasten Smith is the most underrated player, yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in the conversation. That's for sure. I mean, not a lot of people are also talking about Aiden Pouncey. He's one of the higher-rated recruits in that class to go along with Joey O'Brien and that fantastic secondary class that they put together. You know, I mean, Tiki Hola, I mean, if we're going based on recruiting rankings, he's only a 3-star, but he's considered pretty underrated, you know. So one of them is definitely in the conversation. But if they get Elijah Golden on the 26, then the defensive line would absolutely be in the conversation for the strongest position group in the class. But with Javian Osborne and with Jonas Walton at running back, with the wide receivers class that you brought in, the O-line class is very deep, especially after the recruiting bump that Grayson McHugh got. Tight end, again, I know it's only a two-man class, but getting Ian Premer is a game changer. So, yeah. I mean, it'll definitely be in the conversation. But listen, to the point of your submission here, it's a good spot to be in if you're Notre Dame.
Yeah. Fair enough. I like it. I will default to your knowledge of the 26 class better than mine. So, love it. ADNDMD. Okay. Buy, sell, hold. Granting the premise that shipping up to Boston doesn't count because the clip is too short and that 1812 overture doesn't count because there are no words, what sing-along song should Notre Dame incorporate in their home games to compete with the Cheeseheads Jump Around and the Skunk Weasels, Mr. Brightside, and hundreds of Sweet Caroline copycats? And it says continued. And then it goes to buy one, sell one, hold one, and then add one. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel, and Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen.
I mean, I'm going to buy Living on a Prayer. I'm going to hold Thunder Road, and I'm going to sell Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel. Love that song. Love Billy Joel. Whenever we'd go on like vacations as a kid, we drove everywhere. And my dad would crank Billy Joel for hours. I love Billy Joel. Only the Good Die Young is just not a football song.
No. Why do we want people dying young?
Yeah,
No.
it's a sing-along song, and I understand
Sure.
the pushback. I mean, Sweet Caroline is an iconic stadium song, but not necessarily a football song. So I understand the argument there, but I don't see a stadium screaming out Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel. So I think the clear-cut buy here is Living on a Prayer.
Yeah, I mean, with the Bon Jovi connection to Notre Dame, you know, obviously that makes a lot of sense. That's a buy for me as well on Living on a Prayer. I'm going to go the same order as you. Thunder Road is an interesting take. I never really thought about, like, I want there to be a connection, I guess, to Notre Dame, not, you know, like, I don't know what Bruce Springsteen, he's a Jersey guy. I don't know. There was a connection there when Charlie Weiss was there, I guess, you know, that kind of a deal. But in this, you know, for those now it says add one. What are you adding? Because I'm not, as Sean Stiers likes to make fun of me, I'm not much of a music guy. So I don't know that I could come up with anything particular for, you know, it's going to throw in like jock jams in the old CD player up in the press box. I don't know what exactly we're going to be putting on.
I mean, a sing-along for Notre Dame Stadium, basically for the entire crowd to belt out. Well, let's see. Let me scroll through the old Spotify playlist. I have a game day playlist. I don't know if you can sing any of these songs.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
like I do. They play it in the stadium a lot. The Boys Are Back, like that
yeah.
one. I do like that one. And they're looking for trouble. Like I do like that song. They always play it, the first home game of the year. Like I'm down with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, shoot, if I could just pick one, I just wish they would like play "I'm Shipping Up to Boston" a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'd be down with that too.
Yeah, I love that song. Yeah, that'd probably be mine. I'm scrolling through and I'm looking. None of these are really catching my eye to.
Yeah, just like sing along that everybody knows the words to. Like that's the other hard part is finding a song that 80,000 people all know the words to.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. A lot of the songs that I would like to play in the stadium also aren't that family friendly, and also the majority of Notre Dame's fan base wouldn't probably like.
Fair. Yep, fair. All right, moving on from do it to it. Buy, sell, hold. Nick Saban is only putting the name out there for if Kalen DeBoer misses the playoff again to come back to Bama.
Sell. Was Nick Saban even the one that put his name out there?
Right. He said, I believe he said, I miss coaching.
Okay.
I miss high school. That doesn't mean I want to go back and be a student. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's yeah.
Yeah, I'm selling.
He never said I want to be a coach again. He said he misses something. I miss being a bachelor. That doesn't mean I'm going to go up and ask my wife for a divorce. You know what I mean? Like come on, guys. You can miss something and not want to have to do it again. Like this story has been just pushed on us. And I'm not blaming do it to it because that's the news of the day and all of those kinds of things. But like the media, you can tell this is, by the way, Trevor, and I know you're new to media, this is the slowest week of the year in sports because there's no baseball. There's obviously no football. There's no nothing. Like this is the slowest week of the year. And everybody is just, they attach themselves to this story, man. Whew, man. Holy cow. All right. Anyway, it's a sell for me too, by the way. Absolute sell. All right. Buy, sell, hold. The team that wins the title this year will also win it in 26. Wink, wink. So he's calling for Notre Dame to go back to back, basically.
Buy. What the heck?
I mean, I would love to buy it. I'll hold it. I'll be that guy. I will fence it. I will completely fence it on this one. I do think Notre Dame is set up to make a run this year, and I think they're set up to win it next year. Like that's where I'm at. Not that I want to say wait till next year, even though it's ingrained in my DNA being a Cubs fan, but I will hold this and let's see how they do. Like let's revisit this in week 3 for Notre Dame, or game 3, I should say. I want to see how they do against Miami and Texas A&M. If they do yeoman's work against those two, all right, I'll come back and we'll buy it. That's where I'm at. All right, Chris Y. Buy one, sell one, hold one. Jeremiah leaves Notre Dame for the draft as the best Notre Dame running back in the last 25 years. KVA wins the Butkus Award, and Leonard Moore will end up as a better overall corner than Benjamin Morrison. Dang.
I'm assuming, Chris Y., we are buying, selling, or holding these based on like most likely to happen.
I think so. And this year.
Oh, this year?
Well, maybe not. I guess he said the Jeremiah Love thing made me think this year. I mean, KVA and Leonard Moore, you got to project out, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, most likely to happen, I'm buying the Jeremiah Love one.
Me too.
I am holding the Leonard Moore one, and I'm selling the KVA one. Again, it's not that I don't think KVA has the skill set to be a Butkus Award winner, but a lot of those awards are just stats. A lot of it is stat based, and Notre Dame rotates a lot of their linebackers. And I don't know if KVA or Drake Bowen or any one of the awesome linebackers that they have in that room is going to have a 120 tackle, 10.5 tackle for a loss, that type of season. He's capable of it, but in the grand scheme of these three, that's the one that I'm going to sell. I'm least confident in that one happening. Leonard Moore is a better overall cornerback than Ben Morrison. I think because Ben Morrison got injured.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
For 2024, I think that's what put it over the top for me
and
putting that above KVA's, unfortunately. But yes, if Leonard Moore is able to stay healthy, then I think so.
I agree with Jeremiah Love. That's the buy. That's absolutely going to happen. I feel good about that. I'm going to go KVA as my hold, and I'm going to go Leonard Moore as my sell. But I agree with you that the injury to Benjamin Morrison is the tough part here. Because if he would have played his full 3 years, I don't think Benjamin Morrison would have been one of the best corners in Notre Dame history. He just didn't get that opportunity, and it stinks, and it hurt him in the draft and all of those other things. I think the Butkus Award, while I agree with your premise about stats and all of those things, and there will be, because the linebacker room is just so stinking good, Notre Dame has a propensity to win the Butkus Award. So I don't think Notre Dame's going to get ignored by the Butkus committee the way they do, like, from the Jim Thorpe committee. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to that's the order that I'll go in, just to be different. Older than dirt. Apparently I'm submitting questions now. Buy, sell, hold. All we want is for the next 2 weeks to be over, so preseason practice will begin.
Buy. It's the easiest buy that we've had today. I'm at that point in the season where, like, I have the itch. I miss football so much. I do. And this job absolutely helps because I get to talk about it every day, write about it every day, be on the message boards at with you guys every single day. But in all actuality, I'm starting to run out of highlights to watch. I just went and watched the 2013 Notre Dame Rutgers bowl game this morning.
Wow.
Because, like, I'm just out of, like, I need something new to watch.
Wow.
It's coming to the point where I can start to recite what the commentators say as the play is happening because I'm just like.
You've watched it so many times.
Yeah. Yeah. I've probably watched the Notre Dame Penn State game at least 12 times so far.
Wow.
Since January. And I'm not talking highlights. I'm talking like the game. Yeah. So this is an absolute buy for me.
I'm going selfish again, and this is a sell for me because that means summer is almost over and I've got to go back to my other job, and I don't want to do that. And so as much as I love the people I work with and all of those things, in case anybody is listening, because it is true, I do enjoy summer break as well. And I enjoy being on the afternoon shows. And those, I'm not ready to go back to the day-to-day. So I am not ready for preseason practice to begin, even though preseason practice starts before I go back to school, but only by about a week. So that means, like, that's the knocking on the door of, like, okay, time to go back to reality, Vince. Summer break is over. So as much as I want to see Notre Dame and I want to watch Notre Dame football and I want to watch my kid play football and all of those things and what fall means, it also means I got to work more. So I'm going to sell it again, being selfish.
Vince is lazy. You heard it here first.
That's all there is to it. Older than dirt. There's somebody's coming right at you here. Despite Trevor's prediction about the offensive line beginning and ending the same, that will probably never happen again. The 16-game season almost makes that impossible. That is why the depth and quality of depth Notre Dame will be developing there year after year is so crucial.
Yeah, I buy that. Despite look, it was a bold prediction that we had yesterday.
Yes, exactly right.
It was more so along the lines of it was more pertaining to Charles Jagasaw.
Right.
I'm well aware that the injuries can happen. We saw that last season. But my point is I don't think you're going to have as many, if any, season-ending injuries. Billy Schrauth started the season last year as right guard, was injured, missed, I believe, 4 games, and then came back for the remainder of the regular season and all of the postseason. My point was just whoever, starts against Miami is going to start in the playoffs, and that they might miss a couple of games with a rolled ankle or a stinger in the shoulder, but who that group is who that group is going to be in the postseason. I would love nothing more for Charles Jagasaw to come back healthy. A lot of this depends on his timeline for return. If he's only going to miss the first 2 games, then yeah, he'll probably be in the starting lineup by the time the postseason rolls around. But if he's not and he's out for quite a bit of time, I'm playing off of, if Sullivan Absher or whoever starts in at right guard and is performing really well and the offensive line is rolling, do you risk removing Sullivan Absher from that unit and putting back into Charles Jagason? It's a question if he remains healthy for the entire season. So, it was a bold prediction. I'm not naive to the fact that injuries happen. So we'll see. But that's more in the lines of what my line of thinking was. Not so much I just don't think they're going to have 0 injuries.
This is the biggest buy that there could be. There's no way you could convince me that having depth and quality depth isn't crucial. I mean, especially with how long the season is now. 16 games, potentially, you have to have depth. You have to have quality depth, and you have to not be afraid to use that depth. And that is why this is so important. This is absolutely important. This is absolutely crucial. This is the easiest buy of the day for me when it comes to football stuff. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Domer since birth. Buy one, sell one, hold one. Likelihood, Ash, Mickens, Alman will be Notre Dame employees on the 1st of February, 2026.
I mean, I'd like to buy all of them. I mean, I know on this.
Me too.
I know on this channel, we don't really like to predict what coaches will or will not be in South Bend given the season. I mean, and I'm going to leave it at that. I think Ash Mickens and Carter Alman will all be back at Notre Dame in 2026.
Yep, me too. I just don't know that the one and done is going to be a thing at Notre Dame. You know what I mean? I think Chris Ash is going to be here longer than a year. I think there's a plan for Mickens, and who knows what Carter Alman's going to do. But we're supposed to buy, sell, and hold one of each.
No, I know.
Okay, I'm buying them all. I think they're all going to be here, so I'm with you on that. So, okay, sorry about that. Here we go. Buy one, sell one, hold one. Notre Dame women's basketball, Notre Dame men's basketball, men's lacrosse. Success helps Notre Dame football success.
I don't know if any of them directly affect the success that Notre Dame's football team has. I mean, I guess by process of elimination, like the women's basketball team has made the Sweet 16, 4 years in a row now, and Notre Dame's football program is like steadily improved.
I don't know how one has anything
Marcus Freeman
do with the other.
Exactly.
Other than the fact that Niele Ivey and Marcus Freeman are friends, and they probably talk about coaching philosophies and things of that nature, right? But I don't think the only correlation that I can come up with would be the men's lacrosse team because they share some players, and those players might not have come to Notre Dame if it wasn't for the lacrosse team. Specifically, the Faison brothers. But at the same time, would Notre Dame have been successful last year in 20? Would they've gone to the national championship without Faison? Yeah, I think they do. You know what I mean? He's important. Don't get me wrong, but I still think they make it to the national championship game. Yeah. And so maybe a little bit of success there. But I think it's the other way around. I think Notre Dame football success affects the other three more than the three affect Notre Dame football.
Yep. Agreed.
So, buy, sell, hold Notre Dame's 17+ win over USC, A&M, or Miami.
I'd be interested to see how Brian wants us to answer this because he doesn't want us to put out score predictions for.
Well, it's not really a score prediction per se. Look, I think they're okay. I will buy USC. I will hold Miami, and I will sell A&M. That's the order I'm going.
Yeah, that's fair. I do not see Notre Dame. In all seriousness, I do not see Notre Dame beating Texas A&M by 17 or more points.
Right.
It's a good football team.
Yep.
Texas A&M, I believe, to be their hardest opponent of the season based on the talent of their roster and the makeup of their coaching staff. And historically, Notre Dame has not performed all that great in season or in home openers. So, yeah. The 17+ win over USC might just be out of just pure
spite, just hatred, just rivalry talk. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. And look, Miami, Miami's a good football team. Don't get me wrong. I just think people are underestimating what Notre Dame is going to do. And I think that all people remember is what happened the last time Notre Dame played at Miami in Miami. That's what people remember. And it was a disaster. No doubt about it. So many things are different now than they were then.
Mm-hmm.
So many things, specifically the head coach,
Yep.
specifically the talent level on this team. Like, it's a completely different scenario.
Yep.
So I don't think it's going to be the close game that some people think that it's going to be. I think Notre Dame's going in and they're going to take care of business. So, but we'll have that discussion many times between now and August 31st. So I will hold on to that much of it. But yeah, that's why I think Miami is the buy here. Okay. From King Kuba, buy, sell, hold. Notre Dame will be ranked the number 1 team in the nation at least 1 week during the season. If it's only 1 week, that means then they lost the next week. So
buy.
Ooh. Look at you.
I think it's going to be the last week that the playoff rankings come out. I think they'll give them the 1 seed.
Wow.
If it's only going to be 1 week. Yeah.
It says at least 1 week. So, I mean, it could be multiple.
Yeah. I'll buy that, though.
Okay. Yeah, I'll buy it. I'll be, yeah. Vince by Big says, not really, Vince. Could be the last week. Yeah, it could be. If they win a national championship, they will be the number 1 team at least once.
Vince is selling because he has to go back to work. And if Notre Dame is ranked number 1 at least 1 week, it's because he's already back at work. He hates that.
That's right.
So Vince is selling.
You're
welcome.
I'll buy it. Look, I think Notre Dame's going to be very, very good. If they go 2-0 in the first couple of games that they have, I think they're going to be right there on the precipice of that conversation. And I think that then their schedule really evens out and they could win a lot of games this year. And I think other teams in the top 5 have some difficult games that they could trip up on. And Notre Dame could just leapfrog them and get into that number 1 spot. So I will buy it. Why not? Let's just, why not? Law Dog, buy, sell, hold. Miami will not sack Notre Dame's quarterback more than once.
Sell. I mean, that's a tall ask.
It is a tall ask.
And I will say I'm not the highest on Miami, but I do like their front 7, specifically their defensive line. I got to get a lot of questions answered about Notre Dame's offensive line before I can confidently say they're going to allow 1 sack or less.
Fair.
So I'm selling it for now.
Yeah, I'll sell it as well. I don't want to be complete Pollyanna in this show, so I will sell it as well. Different kind of quarterback for Notre Dame now. I still think more talented throwing the football, but not as mobile as Riley Leonard, obviously, no matter who it is. So I'm not going to say sitting duck because that's not the right response here, but more sackable than Riley Leonard. Yeah. Right. All right. Buy, sell, hold. Most dangerous game: Pitt, BC, or Arkansas?
I'm going to buy Pitt, hold Arkansas, sell Boston College. I've been very high on Pitt this offseason. It's on the road. It's going to be a little bit colder. I really like Pitt's linebacking core, and I think their offense is being slept on. Like, they were a very up and down team last year in that they started 7-0 and then finished the season 0-6. So, what version of Pittsburgh will Notre Dame face? I don't know. I think it comes down to the health of Eli Holstein. Arkansas, I think it's just the thought of the game is more daunting than the talent on the roster. I'll say that. Not that they have bad talent on their roster. But Taylon Green comes back, okay? Outside of that, they got questions along their offensive line. They lost their top 5 pass catchers from last season. I don't love their running back. He's a big kid. It's just he's just not that fast. Decent feet. They have really big size on their defensive line, as you would expect from an SEC defensive line. But I think it's more of like Notre Dame's on the road and SEC country on the road against Arkansas. But I think the talent on Pitt's roster is better than what the talent on Arkansas's roster is. And so that's my order for that. And then historically, like, Notre Dame hasn't struggled with Boston College in quite some time. and I don't see that changing this season. So I'm going buy Pitt, hold Arkansas, sell Boston College.
I like that order. I have no problem with that order whatsoever. I think there's an argument to be made between Arkansas and Pitt. I think Arkansas will be the harder place to play than Heinz Field or whatever they're calling it these days. But at the same time, I think Pitt is the better team. So, you know what I mean? So, like, it'd be a toss-up either way for me. BC is definitely the sell, though. So that part I'm absolutely on board with. All right. Buy, sell, hold from Law Dog. Notre Dame should wear black jerseys against USC. Credit older than dirt to reflect the funeral atmosphere.
Again, it's a decent sentiment, but I'm selling. We talked about it earlier in the show. I don't want Notre Dame to be in black jerseys. There's no need.
I don't want a funeral atmosphere either. Like I want them to like kill USC in the sense of the, you know, football and all of those kinds of things. But a funeral atmosphere means it's going to be quiet and solemn and all of that kind of like that's the
Tears.
last thing. Yeah, that's the last thing I want in Notre Dame Stadium in October. You know what I mean? At a night game. No, I want it to be a raucous atmosphere, and that's not a funeral. At least not anyone that I've ever been to. Maybe I haven't been to the right ones. But I
You've never been to a funeral where they play Vengabus?
Yeah, right. Maybe that's what I want at my funeral. I don't know. Yeah. I don't.
Here lies Vince.
I do not want there to be a funeral atmosphere, and I also do not want black jerseys in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So hard pass, hard sell for me. T-Shop 11, buy, sell, hold. We're doing another fun one. That being said, buy one, sell one, hold one. Kedron Young will emerge as the primary third down back this season, scoring at least 8 touchdowns. He will have the most broken tackles on the team this season and have the most rushes of 25 yards or more. Okay. I think
it's
wait, is that the first one?
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
The next one is Logan Thomas will break out this season, recording at least 15 total pressures, 10 sacks, plus hits on the quarterback, at least 1 pass defensed, 3+ tackles for loss. Thomas and Young this season will account for 18 sacks and will be on the 2 top 10 dynamic duo list.
Okay.
And then the final option is Devontae Smith will emerge as one of the best nickelbacks in the country. He'll earn at least 4 interceptions, 8 pass breakups, 5 tackles for loss / sacks, and not allow a receiving touchdown. He will also be a Thorpe Award finalist.
Holy cow.
Like these are like pie in the sky, all 3 of them, frankly.
Yeah, last week he submitted one under the same premise of like this is just for. I mean, if I had to do a buy sell hold on these, I think the Logan Thomas one would be my buy. I think that's going to be the most likely to happen. Like last year at his pressure rate, I mean, I don't have the numbers offhand, but I know his pressure rate was extremely efficient. You know, so I absolutely see him recording 15 total pressures. That is I'd absolute buy. And then with him and Bryce Young being a top 10 dynamic duo for sacks, I could see that get in on third down situations. I'm going to hold between the last 2 options. I'm going to hold Devontae Smith. I could absolutely see him emerging as the best nickel in the country. And then him not allowing a receiving touchdown would just be consistent with what he's done in his career. He hasn't allowed a receiving touchdown so far in his career. 4 interceptions is a little steep for nickel at Notre Dame. I don't know how Chris Ash plans on using a nickel, but I believe in 2 seasons at Notre Dame, the nickel between Thomas Harper and Jordan Clark have accounted for 1 combined interception. So who knows?
Yeah.
Or it could be a scenario where teams elect to just not throw at Christian Gray or Leonard Moore and want to try to attack the nickel, and Devontae Smith goes crazy. That's also possible. I'm selling the Kedron Young one. I don't think he's going to be the primary third down back. I think that will either be one of Jeremiah Love or Aeneas Williams or maybe even Jabron Payne. I think Kedron Young is going to be their primary short yardage back. 8 touchdowns this season is not out of the realm of possibility, especially with him being a short yardage guy. I mean, Riley Leonard had 17 rushing touchdowns last year. Majority of them were short yardage. I do not think he leads the team in the most rushes of 25 yards or more. That's going to be 4 or 24. So I am Quick recap: buying Logan Thomas, holding Devontae Smith, and selling Kedron Young.
I agree with you on everything. So I'm not going to rehash it because I think that is the most likely of scenarios as you broke it down. I am high on Logan Thomas as being a breakout type star this year. I am, especially in the niche role I think that he is going to occupy. And, I think Devontae Smith is going to be a really good nickel. I do. And Kedron Young could be the primary third down back, but like you said, I think Williams will have something to say about that, which could make things interesting. All right, from DJ, buy one, sell one, hold one. Chris Ash is one and done and off to the NFL, and Mickens is named defensive coordinator. Coach Denbrock takes a college head coaching job, and Al Washington and Joe Rudolph leave after the season.
Man, y'all just really want everybody to leave Notre Dame.
Seriously.
That's what I'm taking away from today. No. I'm going to buy the Chris Ash one. I am going to hold the Al Washington and Joe Rudolph one, and I'm going to sell the Coach Denbrock one. I think of the scenarios, Chris Ash would likely do that, head off to the NFL, and then Mickens would be the likely replacement. I'm going to sell Denbrock just because I think –
you know how many opportunities he's had to be a head coach?
Right. That was my whole thing. Is like,
Yeah.
I feel like if he wanted to be a head coach, he could have been a head coach already.
Right.
And so, yeah, that one's my sell.
I'm 100% on the sell with Coach Denbrock. I'm kind of mixed on Ash and Washington and Rudolph. Rudolph I don't see leaving. Al Washington I could see leaving. I mean, he interview for the Boston College job? I mean, he has at least publicly put his name out there to leave.
Sure.
And so I could see him leaving, but the combination of him and Rudolph makes it difficult for me. And I just don't know enough about Coach Ash. So could he be one and done? Maybe that was the plan. Maybe that was the outline of how things were going to work. So I'll agree with you on the order. If it was just Al Washington, I would put him in the hold as opposed to Washington and Rudolph. You know what I mean? But that's the only pushback I would have.
No, I get you.
From Darvis, buy, sell, hold. Current roster has 10 plus future first round NFL draft picks. 10 plus. Count them out.
I mean, I'm going position by position.
Okay. I'll count them. You just name them.
CJ Carr, Jeremiah Love. O-line, I mean, you're going to have a couple. Mm-hmm. I mean, just on the current roster, I mean, if he's able to return back to health, I mean, you got Charles Jagasaw, you got Gerby Lambert, you have Will Black, you got Billy Schrouth potentially. D-line, I mean, Bryce Young. Linebacker's tough.
Linebacker is tough.
Like, not that they wouldn't be first-round talents. You just don't see a whole lot of linebackers going in the first round.
Yep. You're at 7.
KVA.
That's 8.
And then, I mean, in the secondary, I mean, Leonard Moore, potentially Christian Gray, Jadon Blair, Joey O'Brien. Oh, he's not currently on the roster, but Jadon Blair. Yeah, I mean, I'll buy it. I think they have 10 plus.
How much fun is it going to be to start watching the draft again? Good God. Like, normally, if you're waiting for Notre Dame players to come off the board, you're waiting until day 2 at least. You know what I mean? And you're watching the draft differently in round 1 because you're just looking for your favorite NFL team to draft somebody and complain about it. Now you're actually going to be watching Notre Dame guys come off the board. Yes, please. I'm in.
Shout out to my guy, Raymond. I completely forgot about Boubacar Traore.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Goodness.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Oh, I think that might be our last slide. Let me double check on our original thread here. Yeah, that is our last one. So usually we give you guys kind of a heads up as to whether or not we're going to be done or not. But...
Well, there were 2 left on the board. I kind of follow along with the thread on the message board. So
what do we got?
We have a couple. There's one from Irish AJ. Buy, sell, hold. Marcus Freeman has changed the perception that Notre Dame can't land the big-time recruits and is now viewed as a top 6 recruiting program nationally.
Buy. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Definite buy. In almost every recruiting show, we've talked about the perception and the change in perception that this is bringing to Notre Dame, bringing them into the limelight. And it's at positions that historically they don't normally do. I mean, getting Caden Finley with the wide receiver class was huge. And then you add in Devin Fitzgerald, you add in Braden Robinson to a class that already had Bubba Frazier and Dylan Faison. Absolutely. I mean, the 2 running back class in the first year that they were without Dylan McCullough was huge, and Jonas Walton and Javian Osborne. So, yeah, couldn't agree more. Then the last one from Josh CSP77, buy one, sell one, hold one. And I can repeat these if you need me to.
Okay.
Shamrock Series, Notre Dame versus USC, Notre Dame versus Clemson. Okay. Oh, okay. This was typed out weird. So, okay. So here's the first one. Buy one, sell one, hold one. Shamrock Series, Notre Dame versus USC, Notre Dame versus Clemson.
Gotcha. This is easy for me. It would be Notre Dame USC. It would be Notre Dame USC is the buy. Notre Dame Clemson is the hold, and the sell is the Shamrock Series.
With you completely on that. And then former assistant to be the head coach after Marcus Freeman. Buy one, sell one, hold one. Al Golden, Tommy Rees, Mike Elko.
I would. This one's tough, actually, believe it or not. Look, Elko has been a successful head coach. I would take him first.
Yep.
Al Golden has been a head coach. I would take him second. And then Tommy Rees, I would take third. And that's not saying I wouldn't want Tommy Rees as the head coach. I want to be very clear on that. Could he come back and be a good head coach at some point? Yes, but I don't want Notre Dame to be his first go at it. I need to see him do something someplace else. And if he has success, then come on back. I am not the Tommy Rees hater that a lot of people are. I don't have a problem with Tommy Rees. I think he's got a really good X's and O's mind. I think he understands Notre Dame. Those are all very important pieces. And I wouldn't mind having him back as head coach, but I want him to get his feet wet someplace else first. So that's why I take experience over non-experience, even though it has worked out very well for Marcus Freeman. No doubt about it. I know people were worried about that, as was I to a degree, but he was just the right guy at the right time. So that's the order that I would go in.
Yep. I'm with you. Now we're good.
Okay. There it is, Trev. That is a buy, sell, hold Wednesday in the books. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. Again, if you want to have your question, your buy, sell, hold question into the show, you've got to be a member of the premium message board at boards.irishbreakdown.com. Every single week, Salty starts the thread. You put your deal in there, and Brian just brings it on over. He doesn't really go through it and leave some out or whatever. Everybody gets their question in. So however many questions we have, that's how long the show goes. And we love doing it. So get over on the board, have some fun with it. I like the fun ones, frankly. Like, I love the football ones, don't get me wrong, but I like the outside the box ones too. So make sure you guys get your questions over there. But again, you got to be a member of the premium message board at boards.irishbreakdown.com. That's not the only reason to become a member. There's all kinds of good stuff over there as well. All right. So you definitely want to check that out. And of course, give us the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, share with your family and friends. If you're on the podcast version, give us a 5-star review, write a review out. Let us know how we're doing. We appreciate that. And it definitely helps us out and doesn't cost you a dime. So definitely do that as well. So for Trevor, I'm Vince, and we will talk to you next time on the Irish Breakdown Podcast. Have a great